Hey, all you cool cats and gamers! Welcome to Victory Lap, the GDQ hotfix show that highlights recent world record and personal best runs and the runners who made it happen. I'm your host, Nuclear, and tonight I've got with me Clipper showcasing her new personal best for Super Metroid. Before we get started in the run, though, I do have a few announcements. Summer Games Done Quick is coming up June 26th to July 3rd. Prize submissions are now open. Go to gamesdonequick.com for more information. So Flame Fatales will be having its next all-women speedrunning event, Flame Fatales, in late August. Type command FF in Twitch chat or go to gamesdonequick.com/flamefatales for more information. Also, from now until July 15th, GDQ's revenue from subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered after taxes will be donated by GDQ to Doctors Without Borders. All right, Clipper, I'm super excited to have you on tonight.
Thank you,
I do want to, if you want to let us know, like, how long have you been playing Super Metroid for? How long have you been grinding for this personal best?
Geez, that's a loaded question. I get it so often too. And I never know how to answer it because I started like in early 2019. I ran for about 2 or 3 months, and then I picked back up I think a year or two ago for about 2 or 3 months, and I just started again running for maybe 4 or 5 weeks, I'd say. And this is the first time I'm like excited to play the game, and I'm starting to see progression, and I'm having a blast. It's probably my favorite speed game, at least one of them. Second maybe being, or first being Metroid Dread. It's a good game.
That's awesome. I also know you're very involved with the Mega Man community as well.
Yeah, those guys and girls are awesome. That's my home. But you know, there's only so much you can play of one game, right? So. Definitely spreading my wings, and I think I found a new place to sit down for a little bit. This game's awesome. So good.
That's awesome. Glad to hear that. I know you've been around in the speedrunning community for a while. Have you ever watched back on a run before and seen like what went well or
oh god, yes,
improvements? Yes.
Yeah, that's all I used to do with my Mega Man X speedruns. Like, okay, I know that's wrong. I need to improve, and I would look at golds from back then. Walrus Prime was the man to watch, and that's who I would compare to. And yeah, I would just watch them over and over again.
I love that because that's a lot of times I think we find that we don't have maybe the time to go back, but I think this is such a great tool to use, like a learning tool to see. You can really see like even like little things you can do to improve. So I love to hear that you already do that.
Yeah, I am been doing this for a few years now, but not as often with Super Metroid. You know, I'm still kind of in a I wouldn't call me like in a cocoon or anything, but I'm definitely not experienced. You know, I'm starting to take those steps. So
yes. Well, we'll be looking back at it here in a few moments.
I hope so, yeah.
Whenever you're ready to get us started, Clipper.
Oh, sure.
You want me to count you down? Video.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Like, what was I supposed to do?
Okay. I like how chat's blurred out.
Shots.
Yes.
Yes. You know, it's a very casual setting, so I appreciate that. Right off the bat, you see almost immediately what I picked up was how floaty Samus is. She is like almost like water in her movement. As a part like other like platformers, I'd say they're more like maybe like a ziggy zaggy type of movement, like especially when you're coming from X. She feels like a tank. She feels like a tank, and she also like moves very. I wish I could explain it a little bit better. She's slow in the air, but she's also like very fun to control. Something to note right off the bat is before we get into the actual run, this is all nothing's really going on right yet. There is probably there's a D-boost there. I wouldn't call that advanced movement, but you definitely have to learn it for your speed run. You're going to be seeing that a lot. Something that we're going to see too is mock balls. Mock balls are as soon as you hit the ground. Samus, I'm not entirely sure what's going on in the background there, but she moves very quickly in a ball, which allows us to get into very tight spaces very quickly. Something else that you may have just seen there is when we're going up on ledges, we want to snap on that ledge. Samus's hitbox is moving the entire time. Like right here, snap, 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 snap. What I'm doing there is I'm hitting L or R to snap on a ledge. And that's really what makes this game so fun. So, when you watch this run casually, you see these runners just wall jump and like just move Samus on these ledges and run immediately. That is something that is like just not intuitive to someone like me at all. You have to learn that, and it's part of your, that's good movement. That's what's going to separate frames and seconds and even minutes from a good player to a bad player, or even just a decent player. Zost is, I think, currently world record holder. Please don't quote me. I haven't looked at the leaderboards in a very long time. I think Zost has world record in this category with like a 40. Geez, I don't even want to be wrong. He has world record, and if you watch him, he's always snapping on these ledges and whatnot. And you'll see a snap right there. Oh, I miss it. See, bad movement. So right there, I'm trying to manipulate Samus's hitbox. That's called a moonfall. Man, everything's happening so fast. Here's another moonfall. Hopefully I get it. You see how like Samus is like falling through those platforms and just zipping through them? That's called a moonfall. We shoot in a direction, and then we want to go back from that direction and jump while we're in that shot, or I would say it's a shot animation, sure. And we go the opposite direction, and for some reason she just keeps falling very quickly. Again, I'm sort of a baby in this game comparatively, but that's I think that's probably the best way I would know how to explain that. Here's another, like if you notice I broke that spin with an L to be able to immediately run again. Again, we're manipulating Samus's hitbox during all of this. Something right here is a down back. We are doing exactly that. We're holding down, then back. We cannot do that while we're in a, we can't like run off a ledge and do that. I think we have to be jumping. Oh my goodness, my brain is fried right now. We either have to be out of a ball or falling off a ledge. We have to be in a fall animation, right, to be able to do a down back. That's again more advanced movement, like mock balls, down grabs, ledge grabs. And again, ledge grabs are those L's. Something called a down grab, where again Samus's hitbox is being manipulated. That is where we're doing like a down forward animation. And again, Samus's hitbox is being manipulated when she's in a spin or jump, or basically anything that's not a standing motion or standing animation. Her hitbox is shrunk a little bit, and that's how we're able to snap up like snap, or snap like right there, snap right there. Very, very cool stuff. Now we got some of the basics out of the way. We're going to go ahead and get into the run. This is really where it starts. I'd say Green Brinstar kind of is where the run starts. Again, we're snapping on these ledges. Here's our mock ball. We wouldn't be able to do that if we were to like normal speed. We'd take a lot of damage right there, which you don't want for BT. I'm gonna missile that door. Now, I don't remember how my BT fight goes. I did review this VOD. But I don't think, I think I started like Green Brinstar. Again, that's probably where the run starts. It takes a while to get up. Clearly, I am very bored.
Let's play Metroid Dread.
BT's interesting. He has a fixed amount of health. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 5 shots, and then there's 4 missiles. He goes into an animation. We shoot 3 more. 1, 2, 3. That was not a good fight. You don't want him to stand right there. You want him to be back further, like right there where he spawned when you finish that fight. Arm pumping, right? Something that you'll probably notice is Samus's arm pumping. I'm pretty sure when I'm saying this that she moves 1 pixel every time you arm pump through a room or corridor. You don't want to pump on slopes though, like right here. Well, you could. This room's different. We're not going to use this room as an example, but usually on slopes, you do not want to shoot, and you do not want to arm pump because she will trip. It's really weird. I don't think I've ever got a clear answer why that happens, but it's very weird. If you're familiar with any percent at all, you'll notice that I'm killing these guys. Well, I'm trying to, apparently. We're going to fix that next run. We're going to fix that next run. Oh, we got a buffer here. But 80% will, they'll just run through those guys. Well, we're going to fight Fantoon first. He's very difficult, and we're only going to go in there with an E-tank. So we need our health and we need our ammunition. So we're going to try to grab all of that. This is pretty cool. I don't have missiles. Something that we're going to talk a lot about is this stuff up here. We're going to need a lot of resources during this run. And I remember during this run specifically, I had really bad resource drops and we had to lose a lot of time on our pickups. So I'll point that out to you guys. Did you guys notice that mock ball on that ledge right there? That is, yeah, that's early
Those are
supers.
so cool.
Yeah.
I love the mock balls.
I couldn't do mock balls for like, I don't know, like someone tried it. Well, I was at a GDQ once and we were in a hotel room and we had a TV set up and we were just relaxing and chilling. And I love this game, and there was a few people there that ran it. They were trying to teach me to mock ball. I couldn't do it for like 20-30 minutes. There's another one, you know, it's just, it's all a process, speedrunning is, and you just gotta take time and do it, you know. It's a little intimidating at first, but I'm a testimony. I played for 6 months, and I mean, I would say this is a mid-tier run. I wouldn't say this is like a world record level run. I'm not sure what goes into that movement yet. Very complicated run, you know what I'm saying? Here,
it's all the process, though.
Yeah, it is, and to take that first step is always really difficult, right? Here you're going to see another mock ball. That was clean.
Interesting.
And we're going to do a D-boost here. I missed that shot. You want to shoot that gate there with that shot. Easy time save for later. Actually, I think I do save time on this right here, on this 849 pretty often now. So already some improvement there. This is Red Tower. This is notoriously difficult. I can't remember how I do here. I'm probably, oh no, I can't believe I missed it. Okay, so we're supposed to chase that shot, and as we're chasing that shot, we that crumble block is left behind, or excuse me, it's open, and we go through it. So that's pretty hard. That's usually one of the first things people learn in the PRKD route. That and moat, and we'll get to moat here in a moment. There should be a D-boost here. Yeah. So this room was clean. That's what that's supposed to look like. And we have another D-boost, but we're going to shoot a shot. You see that shot? Oh, missed that one too. That's something to improve for sure. Here we're going to lay a bomb to open that door behind. And because that guy shot me, I went ahead and decided to grab a super. Again, something that is extremely important during our run is these resources right here. Right now we're fine. Like, we have full. This is a good amount of missiles for Fantoon.
I've been told I need to.
I don't recall how my moat went, actually. We're laying a bomb to open the door behind us. We're going to shoot up. It would let that. Did you guys see that little like still like motion with the down and over? That's called a ledge grab, or excuse me, a down grab. That's what we're looking to do there to run quickly as Samus. Oh wow, we got the CWJ, very nice. That was a good moat. I think it's a 2-frame followed by a 1-frame. It's either a 2-frame followed by a 1-frame or a 1-frame followed by a 2-frame. I can't recall which is which. One of them you have to do when you're in the room and you grab the pack. Or no, yeah. Or one of them, and then the other one is the one I did. If you were to reset that room, you would have to do one or the other. But either way, it's a 1 or 2-frame trick or a 2 to 1-frame trick to get that trick right there. There's another down back. Very complex movement. You just don't notice from like watching casually. You just think Samus moves to the right. But that's a down back. We're gonna super that door. Not a bad room. Fantoon is very difficult. Coming from X, the bosses in this game, they require hours and hours and hours. I bet you I put probably 60 hours since I've been back to this game on this boss alone. On the last probably I think 4 or 5 weeks or something. Finally able to get more than like 1-2 round a day. Now I'm getting more consistent at it. And this is my first 2 rounds in a PB. So we're firing missiles, and we want to spread those shots apart. It's not like you're mashing those shots.
Isn't this fight, if you use the bigger missiles, it actually makes it more difficult, or?
Yeah, so we, casually, like, Nintendo Power would be like, yo, just go ahead and use 5 supers. He has 2,500 health. Go ahead and use, all your supers, or whatever, I think it was. And, you're gonna be fine. Just go ahead and enrage them. Well, we can't do that during the speedrun. I think it's like 17 seconds if you enrage them. Don't quote me on that. But it's a huge amount of time lost, but we want to press those missiles a certain way. We don't want to mash them, so.
This is not the strat, I think.
Oh, again, our resources. So Phantoon did not drop any power bombs. So we have 1 power bomb. We need that power bomb to do Attic, which I'll remind you of that room when we get there. It's going to be our power bomb drop. Here you can actually do a deboost off that spark, and then top left. I just forgot, to be honest. Definitely want to do that if you have full health. Jump at the top of the stairs. Now, something interesting here is we're going to snap inside and then jump through. We just clip through that wall right, or that ceiling / ground right there. That was pretty clean, I think. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I think I'm farming. I'm not sure why I did. Okay, I'm like looking at my resources. Yeah, I wanted a missile drop there. Again, resources are very important. I lose a lot of time through this run just farming resources. We want missiles for a few rooms. We need power bombs for tube and a quick strat that we can kill a Nova with that unlocks a door with an E-tank later in the run. We want to enter this room with at least 1 power bomb, and I have 0. So we're in trouble, and I know that, and I need a lot of resources. This room is actually very difficult. We only have well, technically, I guess 2 E-tanks. You know, we have our normal one, and then we have our second one. We only have like 200 health right now, 199 health, and those spikes hit for 60. So we have to move through that room and only make sure we get hit twice, typically, because we only have, you know, like probably 140-ish health coming through this room. Typically, we don't see that much health. But I got health bomb from Phantoon.
You're not my real dad.
Now we have gravity. And now I don't recall how much damage reduction gravity gives us. But now we're taking less damage.
Those drops aren't good.
And we're able to go through water without being slowed down. Oh, there's a deboost there off of that. I think they're called waivers. I think it's actually a ripper. That guy we're supposed to deboost off of and fly through part of the ocean. I go through that room slowly to do this charge shot because I don't want to missile him, and I was hoping for a missile drop. But instead, we're going to do a pseudo screw and grab the power bomb there. That strat was actually really cool. I unmorphed there, and I slow Samus's fall speed momentarily to miss that ledge right there. You always want to spin jump off ladders. That was good. Which a faster shot would be to missile those, but again, I'm very low on resources. So, see how? You can actually do another deboost there. So I hope I get that in my next PB. Again, we're slowing Samus's speed on an unmorph. We're doing a quick drop there. We just turned Samus with the D-pad, not complicated. And we should be seeing another deboost here. Let's see if I get it off of this particle. And I've been running this last week. No wonder I'm saving so much time through these segments. We go ahead and shoot. If you shoot while a bomb explodes underneath you, it actually won't pop up Samus. If I wasn't to do that shot, she would be popped up. We lose a ton of time.
That's playable, right?
Down grab could have been a little cleaner there on that ledge. Here's another mock ball. Lay a bomb. We're gonna do a quick drop. Haven't talked about those yet. Just again turning the D-pad. Not super complicated, but definitely stuff you want in your run. You're falling much faster. We're gonna break this tube and shoot. You actually can't break that tube unless you jump. I think it's jump or shoot. So we do a shot at the end there. Oh.
Sub 16 elevator would put me at my gold.
And something funny about Samus is if I were to press L or R right there, or angle up, or I guess down, if I'm not angle up or down right there, she'll just gonna keep running. There is a very good down back. That was a very clean room. Here we have a complicated strat where we're gonna try to drop through this right here with a quick drop. Oh, actually, there's a second one on the left. It's hard doing when I'm not playing. But we're supposed to quick drop through there and kill that Nova at the same time we're coming down through that floor. Here, I hope I get this. I can't remember. I can see that I'm not very focused on the run right now. There's a down grab there. Go through that room very quickly, and you need that run speed to go through the room very fast. So remember that power bomb I mentioned? We needed that power bomb to wipe this room and kill that Nova. Again, we have 0, so that's unfortunate. Oh, very nice pickups though from those Novas. Supers are precious during our run, especially in any percent. So when we see those drops, those are very, very good.
However, we do need missiles.
I don't remember if I farm here. I'm willing to bet I don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to deboost. And I try to farm actually, but my shot goes through the Nova. Oh my goodness. I tried to kill that Nova there, but unfortunate. I would like to have probably, I'd say 2 more missiles coming through here just to be super comfy. 4 is probably fine, but we're going to find out together. Oh, I'm getting a buffer again.
He's growing up, duh.
Which is always giving me problems, apparently. Oh, here's another mock ball. Very important mock ball that we won't make it through here. And this saves a ton of time. Back before I even ran the game, they used to do ice escape. I think through the top side of the room right after Ice Beam. I don't remember what they used to do. I mean, I wasn't there for it, but that mock ball saves a lot of time, and we just fit right underneath those, I guess, pillars that drop down from the ceiling. I don't know, video game stuff. This isn't a mock ball. We just roll through. Even if we were to mock ball, we hit that Nova back there. The Nova are the little, like, orange dudes that just crawl. It's completely harmless, but we kill all of them.
Wish I knew he was
that was a good shot. I want to freeze him.
I definitely would.
I again am farming. I usually would super the door and deboost off that waiver back there, but again our resources. I'm down to 1 missile. Well, was. That was a good draw. Okay, so there's a bunch of bugs that I just killed in that hole. And I got a lot of resources, so that was great. We're finally back on track.
I just miscounted to 5, by the way.
We're gonna use 5 of them though on this door here. Do a little bit of a stutter. Oh, I don't know. I see my face. I'm not sure what happened. I shot an extra missile. I must have miscounted because the pink doors are 5 missiles or 1 super. So I must have miscounted and thought I had to stutter more. Easy time safer next time. Here we want to shoot. Okay, I messed that up too. What we want to shoot is when we're coming up over the ledge, and that shot will hit the door and miss I think they're called these guys, whatever those guys are called, those little bat dudes.
I have Excel sheets, man.
We want to not hit that guy. Here's another deboost. People seem to like this one, and I got it. That was a very clean room. Something here. I'm gonna shoot through the stalactite there and hit that door, but I do not want to break my spin with an L or an R. I think that's the only thing that can break your spin on those platforms, that you make you fall through those. No one can explain that either. It's pretty crazy. Losing a ton of time. I had like I think 12 seconds on this split before this run, and I just lost even more of it. But that's okay. Time safe for next time. There's a quick drop right there. I didn't hit that. Oh, this is a cool strat. I'm shooting this door. Well, I was a little, I think what happened was I missed my mock, and that door will get shot when you hit that mock and open up for you. That way you don't have to shoot it when you go down there. Pretty cool. Oh, nice ledge grab right there. This is my favorite room. We call it the wiggle room. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. We shoot up through this platform, open this door. My power bombs are low, and these guys drop power bombs, so I'm gonna kill all of them. Or I'm gonna try. Oh my. Oh no. Okay. Oh, so short charging. Dude, this game gets so deep. So, I missed it. No, I really wanted to show you guys that. So this is a lot of time. We're gonna have to pause, and we're gonna do something called gravity jump. I guess this is just as cool, but check this out, dude. Imagine 7-year-old knowing this. Like, what you do is you just jump, and as soon as that animation starts, you want to turn off gravity, and she'll just fly through the air, which is almost as cool as short charging. I got the short charge, but missed the down input, apparently. But it's a pretty complicated trick. Not many people even go for it at my level, I think, as what I was told. I've never seen it, but shoot this door. I kind of wanted to do a jump back there, but that's okay. Lay the bomb, go on the left side of that pillar. That way we can kind of weave through the thing. Dude, I'm almost like cursing past me, apparently. I don't know what's going on. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, we got this one. Fast pillars, very good. Short charging is very complicated. You can only press run while Samus is in a certain animation. The game only checks to see if run is pressed on certain frames of Samus's animation, and that's how short charging works in this game. So we only have to press dash on those frames, right? And we can only, I mean, it's like we don't run very far, so that's why it's called short charging. We just we're like going 0 speed pretty much. I think I just got that. That looked good to me. Here's another short charge. That's a 2-tap though. Very nice. At some point, I start paying attention to the run. Good resources all around, really. We want to be against the left side of this door when we're falling through. That way we can manipulate these Duskigas. That bomb placement I just did is, I would say it's tight. It's very hard to do that. And the way that those guys move back there, they're called Duskigas. They will be in a favorable position, so Samus can just run through and I can mock ball underneath them. This room has given me so much trouble. I'm pretty sure I hit it here though. We're killing these I guess key hunter, like these like space pirate. Sorry, not key hunters. These space pirate, like ninja warrior people with Samus's echoes from her short charges. Oh wow, I got that too. That's actually a really good room. And it's a super sick down grab. Wow. I've played this game once or twice.
I have to say, Clipper, I know in the beginning you were saying how you're a baby at this speed run, essentially compared to others, but this has been phenomenal, this speed run. I know there's been mistakes, but this PB, you killed it.
Well, thank you. I'm trying, you know, I try to put in a lot of work, but there's people out there, you know how it is, Nuke. They've been at it for a while, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to, you know, sometimes you compare yourself to those, but
you have to, right?
It's all you know, I'm sure you can even see how far you've come. Oh yeah. In your own journey in this game.
Yeah. I very much wanted this run this time last year. It's almost been exactly 1 year since I ran this game. Ridley is very, very tough. I actually missed a lot of X Factors. I was sort of nervous coming in because I changed my strat and I just completely botched it. Now I go down to the bottom right in this acid. Well, there's not acid there initially, but I messed it up. It's a brand new strat, but it saves, I think, a second. And the X Factors, in my opinion, are much easier to hit. Every X Factor that you land, there's 2 particles. I think it's 2 supers. I can't remember. Zenny just told me this too. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to feed you misinformation, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. At any rate, Ridley's red, and that means he has 9,000 health. Less than 9,000 health. I think it's 9,000 health, actually, that he turns red. Yeah. He's dead right now, I think. Yeah, and he still just, like, completely dominates me. And does a ton of damage, and he's such a jerk, and I hate him every day that I play this game. We're gonna grab Ridley E-Tank. This is, I think, our only safety that I grab currently. If I were to go for one more PB after the one I'm trying to get right now, this would be gone. This helps us do two things. It helps us escape Norfair, and it helps us fight Mother Brain. I'm going to go into Mother Brain and why health is important when we get there, but... Oh, nice down grab there. It's another down grab. We want run speed. Shoot this guy. Run across that platform. Shoot two guys there. Do a wall jump. Shoot down. Shoot this guy. I hope I'm not delayed when I'm saying this. It probably sound weird. But, and then deboost off that Viola. This is not a short charge. It's a one tap. I guess it's a short charge, but we want that boost right there. Shoot that door from the ground. Just hop over that guy's head. Oh, no, I remember this. So... Samus's hitbox, again, is we manipulate it, right? Well, part of... I would say a part of that, and knowing what you can do with doors and item checks, stuff like that, is knowing that Samus... The game checks what Samus is doing with her hitbox. Left to right, and I think down to... up to down? Jeez. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've been told that, but... I was too low on that spike, and long story short, I just lost a ton of time. We're going to lose a ton of time here on this segment, but it's just a phenomenal run to even think that they had the insight to just make her smaller, just to make her more... She can go through rooms better just by like shrinking her hitbox and stuff. The developers really knocked it out of the park with this game. It's incredible. I don't think they've seen the speedrun coming though. They would have probably changed
Probably not.
Probably not, no. I wonder, you know, I've always wondered, like, I wonder if there's a dev out there that's actually watched a speedrun from like 1994. They're like 67 years old now. And like, wow, that's not supposed to happen now.
You look at now, like sometimes games get patched, and this is back.
Oh, dude,
you couldn't
it's so
patch
bad.
these, but
Could you imagine this run or A Link to the Past being patched? It'd be so terrible. Or Melee. Imagine if they could patch Melee. It'd be terrible.
that would just ruin the
Yeah.
I'm
No wave
they
dashing.
can't.
No L cancels. What are you guys crazy? What are you doing? Our resources here are actually really good. I wanted to hit I'm mixing up my names. I think that was a waiver up there. We wanted to shoot him falling down to more resources, always more resources. We are a little low right now. We're going to need a lot of missiles. Oh wow, that was actually a 6 strat that I just pulled off there. Very good. Past me. Snapping up on those ledges. You guys see those elves? That's why this speedrun's so fun, I think, is because it's so aggressive and very busy with the hands once you get speed booster and high jump, and it's very fun, man. Space jump is amazing. You don't even get it in this run. Spoiler alert. I can't wait to actually probably play 100%. KD is very bare to the bones. I miss that.
I was going to ask, do you have plans to run other categories of this?
Yes.
Or do you run other categories of this?
Oh yes. I'm looking forward to playing 100%. This will probably I'm gonna break this PB, the one you're watching now, and after that, I've had a sub goal met for Mega Man X, so I'm gonna return to that for 100%. And after that, it's gonna be probably full-time 100%. I love this game. I can't wait to dive in and become a student of that category. I'm pretty sure I get Kraid quick kill. But in time, I don't think I could have got it without it. This is super complex. It's going to be over before I can even explain it. That's not easy, just to sum it up. Definitely want resources. Got super good resources. That's awesome. Okay. Here we're picking up Varia, but you're going to wonder why we're even doing this. Her suit doesn't change. We don't need it. We're at the end of the game, or halfway through, well, pretty much the end of the game. Well, believe it or not, we're still getting the damage reduction from Varia, even though it's just underneath the gravity skin. And that comes into play with Mother Brain as well. That wasn't a bad room. I wish I jumped that a little bit cleaner, but it's okay. We're going to kill Mini Kraid there for some resources. I would have liked to jump through that door at full speed, but instead I jumped a little bit late, I think, and door bonked. So, time save there. This room's fine. Like, some will go for a mock ball, but I've heard it's It's barely worth. I've never ran the numbers myself, so please don't quote me on anything I am telling you about this run. Again, I'm not a baby, so to say, but I'm definitely not well versed in the run just yet. Wow, that was a good recovery. So I jumped too early back there in that room and hit my head on the tube. That's not what you want to see there. It looks like I got that. Okay, sick. That's really tight. That's a hard jump right there. You want to jump as late as possible without going through the door. That way you can dodge that ceiling. Pretty easy shine spark there. I thought that was so cool when I first started learning. That's an easy one. I want to spin jump through there, weave through. Mock ball. Well, it doesn't need to be a mock ball. I would have liked it to be a mock ball. We're doing a little bit of a wiggle there for lag reduction because there's snails in this room. I love those snails. And we want to manipulate them so they're causing less lag through the room. I'm honestly playing really well right now. I don't have too much to say that it's... you can make that jump faster. I don't like it though. I like the consistency of this. How I'm doing everything right there is kind of complicated. You don't want to go too fast. You want to shoot as soon as you're going through the room. And you don't want to jump too soon from the wall. You want your X factors to be very tight on Bot's wound. Nice mock ball. I got that mock ball through here. And then I like to missile this guy depending on my ammo. You can just shoot him twice. We want to shoot back there right before the sand pit to hit this. People love this trick. Have you seen this before, Nuke? This full happy?
Yes. Yes. It's a great one.
This is so satisfying to pull up. It's one of my favorite tricks. Just fly through that room. You have to be very fast. I think it's only like, oh gosh, man. I know. I wish Zenny were here. He could say, tell me for sure. I think it's like 10 or 15. I don't remember. You need to go through that room very fast with your spark activated. These turrets just knock them out. Three missiles each. And we're going to set up for our X Factor for Dragon.
Thank you, Twin.
These guys here, I've heard that the developer, they're like dancing. It's a love dance, and they put it in for their girlfriend or something back then.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know that till like literally
That's really
last month.
interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Someone in chat told me that. This pattern is really hard, but I missed my charge anyways. But luckily, check this out. I'm aiming for the back of the head, like near the eye. That's where the hitboxes for Dragon kind of interconnect, and we do a ton of damage. Something I just did, very subtle but extremely complicated, is I got Spike's suit right there. And, oh, I want that super. I wish I jumped a little bit higher there. We jumped through this door. And the reason Spike's suit is important, I have a speed booster readied right now. And my movement has to be very particular. And I can release it right here and go through this room and get reverse full happy. So this is a great run so far for me. I've golded Dragon. I'm getting Moonfalls. I got Spike Suit. I got full happy. Dragon was cleaned up quick, which is nice. I feel like I missed this. Yeah, you can do a mock like shot there. That's super sick. Another thing that happened because of that is I missed the down grab there, and I reduced my run speed coming through the door. But luckily I got a super. That was nice. Very nice super. This is easy. Just quick drop shot. And that was really good.
Sometimes.
Some of this run looks promising. This room is super difficult for a lot of runners. I take it slow here. I know what's up. And I just go ahead and I just land and shoot up. You can shoot that door before you actually land and jump as soon as you jump through the door as soon as you land. I decided to play it safe here. Our health is actually really low. Or even, like, I do grouping strats for Torian. So you want around an E-tank and a half. So I went ahead and farmed there. These resources are actually phenomenal. To go into, Torian with 7 supers isn't common at all. I actually lost a run better than this one to Torian not long before this PB. It was sad. I'll explain Torian. Well, I guess I can explain it now. Torian, our resources are very limited, that we have to kill the Metroids a certain way depending on what ammunition we have when we get there. We need to get to Mother Brain, open the doors. We need. Oh wow, I got that. That was nice. I got that short charge there.
Okay.
I wonder if I get this. That was a good shot, and I think I got a bounce ball there.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got a bounce ball. But anyways, we want as many resources coming through here as possible. We need to kill everything fast, and you're gonna see what I mean. If we don't have supers, oh, I missed that. That's a shame. If we don't have supers, we gotta use missiles, and missiles are slow. I don't know if we can fast forward by like 30 seconds right now, but there's literally nothing going on here. We're just setting up a moonfall that's, it doesn't really save time or anything, but it's totally up to you if we can fast forward. But Torian, we need,
Why are you confused?
let's see, we need to shoot an eye door. We need to shoot 2 pink doors. Automatically, we've lost 3 supers. Thank you. We've lost 3 supers, and we need 15 missiles and 7 supers to kill Mother Brain and her protective glass. I missed a strat there, where you just barely missed that lip on that ledge. So super, I neutral weapon select here. Let that bomb hit him. Super him again. Jump through the door. I do a soft landing here with my ball. Tap left, shoot up. Super those guys. My resources are incredible. My health is a little bit low. I'm sure I'm concerned about that. Again, grouping. Lay a bomb. Shoot twice. Super. Clean. Oh, dude. Super clean room, man.
So I always ask my runners on this show.
Uh-huh.
Where were you feeling the pressure by this point?
I would love to say absolutely, but this Torian has robbed me so much, and I'm not saying that
Just hit my fucking heel, dude.
it's I've been on better paces than this one. I wish I could have pulled those through for you and then showed you those when I probably would have said yes, but in hindsight, I know how far I have to go, that it helps me focus, that it drives me to know can be beat, even if I don't get the best RNG, if I don't get baby skip, which I think I get this. I do. That's super hard for me lately. So yeah, it does help with nerves to make sure that I kind of remind myself that this run is not my last stepping stone.
That's a great attitude to have, because I'm the amount of times you have a run probably fall apart at the end for any speed runner, you know.
Yeah. I could have I mean I have horror stories with Mega Man X right now. You know, I have way more time in that game, but this one is, I'm still kind of blossoming, and it's easy for me to keep focused, and oh my god. Okay. I don't even know where to say. Okay, that was terrible. This is extremely scary because these Rinkas are going to come alive. Mother Brain's not dead, and I back it up with those 2 shots. Those Rinkas should have never, ever been able to move. But I missed a bomb, I missed a shot, and they were able to come after me. And if I miss a super, it's game over. Well, I'm allowed to miss 1 super, excuse me. If I missed another super, I wouldn't have been able to get Mother Brain into this phase. This is very scary. Mother Brain, my health is very low, even for like a Mother Brain has robbed many runners of their run. So is Torian. It's more heartbreak. Oh wow! So I just jumped in the middle of that. Wow, super aggressive Mother Brain, dude. Okay, she caught me there, but still, we're fine. That was kind of nuts. She really wanted me dead. We cannot fall below 301 health. Right now we have 439. The reason for that is Rainbow Beam. So this is super intense. I'm probably nervous now because she just keeps, you know, just throwing stuff at me. Catch up soon, I think. Got onion rings. Oh, she caught me. But luckily, it didn't double hit me. We're still okay again. We only need 301 health. We have 319. So, super aggressive Mother Brain. Almost lost a run right there. That would have been terrible. but I think we got it. Well, I know I got it. Now we have Rainbow Beam. This is what I've been talking about with that E-Tank at Ridley, Varia at Kraid. We're going to take damage. If I had taken off Varia or Gravity at this point, she would have done a lot more damage to me. But with those two suits coupled, we're able to live that beam, and just barely. If you want to fast forward, that would be fine. There's nothing going on here. I'm sure they've seen this. If they haven't, you know, please play this game. It is beyond a classic. This game is so good. Nobody talks bad about this game, in my opinion. It's really good.
I actually never played this game until this past year, and
really,
I'm really glad I did. It's sometimes you go back to these older games and it's hard to play, and this one aged very well overall.
How did you play it on, like, network, the Nintendo Online network?
Yeah.
How is that? How is did you use Pro Controller?
I did, and it definitely, there were some things with, like, some of the mechanics were a little more difficult using a Pro Controller.
I'm sure.
It definitely was not designed for the Pro Controller, but I also had the power of save states, so...
That's funny, Nuke. I wonder what it's like with the Super Nintendo Switch controller. I wonder if that's any better.
Yeah, that I do not have, so
Gotcha.
I'm not sure, but it probably would. I would imagine it would feel a lot better than using the Pro Controller.
I would imagine. I bet you broke so many spins just trying to jump and stuff.
Yes. Yep. That was the problem with the spins.
If it makes you feel any better, like it's not that much better on a Super Nintendo controller. They're so old now, dude. They do not want to work anymore. They're fighting against us.
It's so incredible watching, even watching this, like seeing someone who knows how to move Samus. Like it's not easy casually to move Samus, especially to the level that
I didn't respect like the speedrun until I tried it myself. They make it look so easy. Like watching Zenny is like art. It really is. It's almost like poetry. He makes her look so fast and good, and I even today, like, I can't do what he does, but casually you would watch this like a wall jump, and you would think that she just does it, you know. Like I played X and it looked natural, you know. They make it look so natural. Oh wow, that was a nice little bop there. Very good. I missed the 44. I gotta grab that 44, but overall this run was keepable, I guess. It was a good run. And thanks so much for letting me show it to people, you know. Thank you so much.
I love this. This was great. You did fantastic commentary over all of this, too.
Oh, everything goes so fast. You don't realize that until you start, like, talking about the run. I'm talking about something 3 rooms ago. Dude, you guys doing this is so cool. Like, I feel like and I was saying this to you earlier, I feel like as speedrunning kind of evolves and you see these people push themselves, and like you watch like Warris or Zos, they do these runs, and I could never do that. I remember thinking that I could never do that, and you know, you just got to take that first step. And I would very much call this a mid-tier run. I would. I'm not being hard on myself. I don't think I'm being hard on myself. That, you know, world record is 4 minutes below me. And over 4 minutes, excuse me. And I have a long way to go. But looking at those runs, even to me, they're a little intimidating. But, you know, you don't want to not do it because you think it might be too hard. Everybody had to make that first step. And the runners you know now that have 200 or 300 viewers, they had one person probably watch their first PB. They had 20 people watch their next 6 PBs. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. It's just so intimidating to get into, but you just got to do it and enjoy. You'll enjoy it. If you think you'll enjoy it, you probably will.
Yeah, and that was even, I think there were moments here too, looking back, where you could even see how far you've come throughout your journey and learning this run. And it's really awesome to see. Chat, I've posted a few times. I'm going to post one more time a link to Clipper's Twitch. If you want to follow Clipper, please go click on that link and click the follow button. I know she should be doing more of these. I think she expressed that.
Yes,
and
thank you, Nuke.
Looking at 100%. So if you want to follow her journey more, please go follow that Twitch channel. Awesome runner. I also want to give you a moment to shout out anything you want to shout out, whether it's your own stuff you're doing or anyone else in the community.
Dude, there's so many people I would love to shout out. I gotta tell you, the first person that comes to mind is definitely Shiny Zenny. The dude has made tutorials for even like this route is what I refer to. I refer to his tutorials for PRKD, which is obviously the route Fantoon, Ridley, Cray, Dragon. It is a newer route, as opposed to like Crate First or something. I've lived in those tutorials multiple times now, and without me standing on his shoulders, there's no way I could do any of this. There's so many people in my community too, and I'm thankful for all of them. There's even people in the Super Metroid community. I don't remember if we said this on stream, Nuke, but it goes back to that love for their game. People just flock to that speedrun that they're passionate about, and they welcome you, and they love you, and it's incredible to be a speedrunner because you feel so much. There's so much of a sense of community that people just care about one thing so much, and they come to you to help you. Like, everybody in this community has been so nice to me, and I'm so thankful for that. They've been so welcoming, especially Shiny Zenny, who wanted to be here tonight, but he got slammed by work. So, and also thank you guys for having me so much.
Of course, it was a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Nuke.
All right, chat. We are going to take a quick little wellness break, but when we come back, we have the Sound Defense with, you don't want to miss this run. Sound Defense has been grinding world record for Sonic 3 and Knuckles for months now, and you'll want to stick around and watch his world record run coming up after this break. We'll be right back. Hey, all you cool cats and gamers. Welcome back to Victory Lap, the GDQ hotfix show that highlights recent world record and personal best runs and the runners that made them happen. I'm your host, Nuclear, and up next, I have with me the Sound Defense, showcasing his new world record for Sonic 3 and Knuckles All Emerald's Tales, which I know is a run that he has been working extremely hard on. This is quite an incredible run. Before we get started, though, I do have a few announcements. Summer Games Done Quick is coming up June 26th to July 3rd. Prize submissions are now open. Go to gamesdonequick.com for more information. Frame Fatales will be having its next all-women's speedrunning event, Flame Fatales, in late August. Type command FF in chat or go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information. Also, from now until July 15th, GDQ's revenue from subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered after taxes will be donated by GDQ to Doctors Without Borders. And tomorrow, we are preparing for our Juneteenth marathon this weekend. So there will be no shows. Come back Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. Challenger Approaching and Legally Cute will be back after SGDQ. All right, Sound Defense. Yeah, I know I talked about this, and I've been talking about how incredible this is. There's quite a background story to this run within itself. We were actually going to showcase a different run that you had done a couple months ago?
Yeah, about two and a half months ago, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. But then just a couple days ago, I think you went to do a run, and you were trying to get the 51 or 52 minutes.
I was getting a 52, yeah.
Yes, and now you broke down to the 51 minutes.
Yes, just barely by a hair.
Which is incredible.
This is the second time I've done this. I did the same thing with Sonic. I went from a 55 to a 53:59.98, which is 54 minutes minus exactly one frame. They had to time that run very carefully.
Wow. Down to the frame.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that was... The original goal for this was a 53-minute run because I wanted the Tails run to be faster than the Sonic run because Sonic has like an entire other stage to play, and so it only seemed right that Tails should be faster. And now it's quite a bit faster. That would make sense.
So. What is the time on the Sonic run, just for comparisons? Do you know?
Yeah, that's the 53:59.98.
Okay, got it. So that was all right. So your goal, I get it now. Yeah, your goal
Yeah.
was to get to 53 with Tails, and now we've broken down to the 51. Are you still grinding this at all, or is this a run? This is like a satisfying time, or?
I mean, excuse me. It is satisfying, but also no, I am not done with this. There are still additional tricks that I can incorporate. I'm pretty sure I can get a 50-minute time. I think maybe if I play just incredibly from start to finish, I can get a 49. But I think that is getting close to the limit of what is possible with what we know now. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's I know you've been working so hard on this one in particular, so it's great to hear that you've broken that, but there's still work to do, as always. So have you ever watched back on any of your runs before and seen where can you improve, or?
Yeah, I have done that a few times. I've occasionally held a watch party for a record run on my stream and seen what's going on and winced at a couple of things that happens. Usually
that's how you learn. That's a good way to learn.
It is, yeah. Usually just running against this new set of splits on the next stream is a good way of figuring out where I have screwed up and where the time saves are.
Well, Sound Defense, I'm ready to start watching these run, as I'm sure our viewers are. So whenever you're ready to start us off, let's get into it.
All right. We'll just go right ahead then. And hit the start button. We're going to see this beautiful... Hold on. Actually, this is something I need to talk about, because this was a point of contention just before we started the stream. What is the name of this game, and what is this game? So, this game is Sonic 3, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Knuckles, if you look at it right here, which is not correct. I believe the formal title is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Basically, Sega had incredibly ambitious designs for the third game in the Sonic series, but they were finding themselves up against a wall because they did not have the time they needed to complete the whole game, and they had this licensing deal with McDonald's ready to go in February that they absolutely could not miss. So they decided they were going to break the game in half. They were going to release the first half in February 1994, I believe, to coincide with the McDonald's deal. And the rest of the game would come later in 1994 as the Sonic & Knuckles add-on cartridge. And then when you combine the two games together, you get the original intended game. So this is the true form of the game, but it's technically not a game that you can find in the Twitch database, which is kind of annoying. So don't want to get that cleared up because there was some confusion there initially. So let's get started. So yeah, Angel Island Zone is a fairly tame zone compared to some of the absolute nonsense we're going to be seeing later. I hate vines, by the way. I try not to grab them, but they grab me and they slow me down.
Toxico coming in the
anyway, so the reason this is an all emeralds run is because I have to enter 14 of these special stages, complete them, and collect the 14 emeralds, 7 Chaos Emeralds, 7 Super Emeralds, in order to complete the game and complete the category. And so part of it is figuring out how to complete these special stages as fast as possible. Part of it is how to route them into the run as efficiently as possible. And there's so much going on. I already went over, I missed a frame-perfect jump that I did over 2 bumpers, but I am going to stop here. And we're going to talk about something that makes a lot of these special stages a lot weirder, which is called the Blue Sphere Glitch, which has had a few other names in the past. But basically, let's back up a minute. So first off, we're going to go over this frame-perfect jump here over these 2 bumpers. If I get that a little too early, I land in between them. If I get it too late, I get bounced back. And it's not too hard as far as frame-perfect tricks go, but in any way, this is something that anyone who's played the special stages is familiar with. You have one of these big squares of blue spheres. You go around the outside, all of them turn into rings, and you clear a lot of spheres at once. but there is a bit of a bug in the game's code that determines whether or not you've actually made that shape and gone around the outside of the shape. And we can abuse this to trace paths that should not work, but inexplicably do. Like this one here. I am not going to go around the outside of this. Check out what I do instead. So I just did some weird sort of spiral shape in there, which was pretty very much not going around the outside, as you can see, but a bunch of the blue spheres turned into rings anyway. A bunch of blue spheres I didn't touch at all. And the rest of them sort of remain red, which is very strange. Basically, what's happening is that we are abusing a bug in the pathfinding algorithm that the game uses, and we're tricking the game into thinking that spheres on the outside of a shape are actually on the inside. And so instead of like breaking down, going into the shape and grabbing all the blue spheres inside, it goes and grabs all of the blue spheres outside. And so that allows us to take some paths we shouldn't be able to take, saves us a little bit of time, and I'm going to be using a lot of that throughout this run. But just had to establish that up front because you're going to see a bunch of it. I need a water break. Okay. So yeah, that's one interesting thing about the special stages. When I was initially, back in like 2017, trying to get this run into a GDQ, I realized that the special stages are a little bit boring to watch normally, and so I need to not only make them fast, but I also needed to make them visually interesting. So I went and watched the latest All Emeralds TAS, and tried as best I could to emulate what I saw in that task, which includes a lot of really ridiculous stuff that humans probably shouldn't be doing, but I do them anyway. And I'm super glad to see that there are other humans also doing them now. Because I want this to spread. I want this to be the most ridiculous, unbearable speedrun. But yeah, that's... the blue sphere glitch is just the tip of the iceberg of some of the stuff we're going to be seeing. Anyway, what's next? Oh, I have to explain the timer real quick. So, most Sonic games, most 2D Sonic games, they are timed with the in-game timer. Not this one. So, check out my time right now. It's completely stopped. It's been stopped ever since the time bonus started counting down. We have basically a compromise between real time and in-game time we call RTA minus time bonuses. Basically, it's all RTA. It's all real time, the timer, except that when the time bonus is counting down, the timer stops. Basically, we realized that there were situations, because the time bonus can take so long to count down, if you get a 50,000 point time bonus, we realized there were situations where you would intentionally slow yourself down to avoid this long real-time time bonus, and we all decided that was for chumps. So we instead invented RTA minus time bonus, and that's the timing method we use. And I say we invented it as if I had anything to do with it, which I absolutely did not. But I'm going to take credit for it anyway, because I'm here and all of you are just watching from the chat. Anyhow, so we're in the next special stage, and we're going to be getting into another fun trick. So these red spheres that are lining the outside of the stage, they're supposed to act as walls to keep you from going wherever you want. The thing is, they're not walls, they're spheres, and spheres cannot stop us. And so we can really go almost anywhere we want within reason. It looks really intimidating jumping through red spheres, and the first time you do it, it is intimidating, but the hitboxes on these things are really, really small. Like, I measured it out at one point, and I think you can get, like, right around here, this close to a red sphere, and still jump, and still survive and not get hit by it. They've got the smallest hitboxes of any sphere in the special stage. The one with the largest hitbox is the bumper sphere, which is projecting like an enormous force field around itself. It's very irritating, actually. But yeah, that is step 2 for speedrunning special stages, is jumping over red spheres. Excuse me. And there are more steps. There are more than 2 steps. The third step might be a bit jarring, but that's okay. So now with Angel Island, there are two different paths that you can take. There's a top path, which is exclusive to Tails, and there's a bottom path, which is exclusive to Sonic. And I think the bottom path is a little bit simpler and involves a bit less tricky movement, but the top path, ultimately, if you're good at it, is faster. It also has the side effect of losing that shield, which, as Tails, I don't actually think matters. In case, I just flubbed a very difficult jump right there. If I time a jump very correctly, I can jump off of that slope and directly into the cave where this special stage ring was, but it's not guaranteed, and it sort of depends on what time is on the in-game timer, how long you've been in the level. Anyway, yeah, right now I am using both the blue sphere glitch and some nonsense red sphere jumping to just carve out a totally different path. But that's not quite enough to go fast. See, turning in a special stage is very slow because you have to stop and pivot and then completely turn. And I will go to some extreme lengths to avoid turning, like this one. So this is probably my favorite moment in the speedrun, just because if you've never seen it before, it's kind of blowing your mind. And yeah, the whole reason I did that section backwards was for right here, where I stop and instantly turn around. Because if I am going forward, the way you have to turn around is to take a full 4-point turn and start going in the other direction. Whereas here, if you're going backwards, you can instantly hit up on the D-pad and start going forward again. And so that saves maybe a second. And so it's totally worth learning that half of the special stage backwards just to not turn around at that one point. Trust me on this. This is a normal thing that normal people do.
Alright, we're in the green.
So there we go. That's Chaos Emerald 3. And I don't think there's a whole lot left in Angel Island. I basically just have to get myself to the cutscene, which involves a little bit of flying.
Some Moonlit Cafe.
One thing to note about flying is that it's really slow. Like, look how slow I'm ascending here.
So I hope it doesn't die.
I try to avoid flying wherever I can, if I can ever help it.
Frankly, I hope it doesn't die anywhere.
Right here, in this cutscene, I have to take damage because Tails has too many rings. He has more than 50 rings, which is bad. So, sorry Tails, you know the drill. Basically, I mentioned earlier that we pause the timer when the time bonus is counting down, but we don't pause it when the ring bonus is counting down. And so, if my ring bonus is larger than my time bonus, then I'm just losing frames. I'm losing 1 frame per additional ring over 50 rings at this point. And so rather than lose 2 frames, I'll just have Tails get exploded by a bomb. I don't know how much he likes this trade-off, but it's not really up to him.
That makes me happy.
Then I fly up there and I sort of hit the capsule as it spawns. And I reset the game. So the reason I reset the game there is to skip the cutscene that follows of Tails walking over to the right, and then Knuckles appears, and he chuckles, and he jumps on the switch and drops me into Hydro City. It is very slightly faster to just reset the game once my score counter is done counting down, because once the score counter for Act 2 has finished counting down, then your save file ticks over to the next stage. And at that point, if the cutscene you're about to see is long enough, you can just reset the console and go right back into your game, and it saves a bit of time. And this is actually super duper important for something that's going to happen later in the run, so just remember that fact. Anyway, as Tails, you can start flying while you're falling here and just make your way to the right and get on this top path. And now I am going to jump and go over the top of the screen. Tails cannot fly up over the top of the screen, but he can jump up there. And once he has jumped up, he can start flying and just get over the level. So I'm going to abuse that horribly. I've gotten over the screen right here. I'm jumping off this ceiling. Like, I'm right around here somewhere at the moment. I just wanted to draw because there's not many opportunities to draw here. And I am going to land on a capsule that is hiding a spring. I'm going to bounce off the capsule and hit the spring at the same time. So the capsule bounce is going to give me lots of vertical momentum, and the spring is going to give me lots of horizontal speed. And so I'm just off to the races. And I'm going to spend the rest of the stage just going over the top. The chat is very upset that I skipped some Knuckles chuckles. I'm sorry, but he should have chuckled faster.
Alright, this is a fine Hydro.
Anyway, I pick up that invincibility box because this mini-boss as Tails is horrible. But if you're invincible, it's very easy. This is much worse as Tails than as Sonic because Sonic has the Insta-Shield, which is vastly underrated. It's one of the most powerful things in the game. And when you don't have it, you really miss it because bosses get a lot harder. Okay, and now we're approaching the point where I'm going to be talking non-stop until like Mushroom Hill, which makes me laugh because I've already been talking non-stop, but I have to do a lot of pausing now because I have to talk about something super important. This is one of the most important concepts in the speedrun, which is the horizontal level wrap. So in this case, it consists of 4 different steps. The first step, which is exclusive to Hydro City and Death Egg, is I have to die. The reason I die is because in order to do a horizontal level wrap, I have to bypass the left side of what's loaded in the level. And there are 2 different barriers, there are 2 different boundaries that are relevant here. There's the left boundary of what's actually loaded, and there's the left boundary of where I'm allowed to actually play. And those 2 have to be the same, or else I'm not going to be able to pass over the loaded boundary and actually do the level wrap. So step 1 is die. Step 2 is fly right there and get sucked into the wall, get sucked into the floor, and now I'm in the floor. And I like being in the floor, I like being in a wall, because Sonic 3, like a bunch of other 2D platformers, has a mechanism where it tries to force you out of a wall if you get stuck in it. And they do this by hurtling you in the opposite direction you're trying to go in. So if I press right on the D-pad right now, I'm going to shoot over to the left. And that's what just happened. So I shot to the left, and then once I hit the left side of the wall, Tails has automatically teleported to the right side. Because Tails' horizontal position, stored internally, is never allowed to be negative. And so if you take a number that can never be negative and you make it negative, it instead becomes an extremely large positive number. And so it's just put me on the far right side of the map. In fact, it's put me too far to the right. I'm now way past the boss arena. I'm way past the level end capsule. For all practical purposes, this would be a soft lock, if not for the 4th element of the skip, which is the camera. So let's rewind a little bit here. So once I teleport, the camera is not going to snap to where I am. Oh, I went a little too far, but it's fine. The camera is not going to snap to my position when I teleport to the right side. Instead, it's going to start racing to the right to try and catch up to me. And this is my window of opportunity. This is where I start spin dashing, jumping, flying, doing whatever it is I need to do to get the camera to pass over the boss arena. Because when it does that, it is going to stop in place. It's going to teleport Tails into the boss arena. And this is what makes the level completable at all. And so those things all combined together make this incredible trick work. And I'm glad it does, because I'm going to be using it in, honestly, I want to say like half the stages in this run, just to skip by them. So I'm going to hop up here, get a few hits on Robotnik before he flies down, and then I'm going to stand in the magic spot and just not take any damage from this fan. This isn't really a trick. This is just the fan's hitbox being really small and the pillar's hitbox being really large. And so I can stand up there and get the height and just deliver death from above. And that's Hydro City. And then I miss the capsule, and I lose like a second or so. But yeah, that's the horizontal level wrap. Get used to that, because you're going to be seeing a lot of it. Let me see if there's anything going on in the chat. Do you pronounce it Hydrocity or Hydrocity? There is genuinely no escape from this, is there? This discussion follows you everywhere you go.
Sega ran a poll on Twitter recently.
They did. I didn't check the results
did.
of it. What was that? What was the consensus?
Well, I'm not sure.
I remember it being really close.
It was really close, and I don't think I ever saw. Oh, all right. We got Hydrocity won by 1%.
It won?
Yeah.
What's wrong with all of you people? Oh boy. I guess there are a lot of Sonic fans in Europe. There's a large contingent of the Sonic speedrun community is from Europe and other places where they say words in different unnatural ways, so I guess that makes sense. Anyhow, I'm about to do something very cool, so check this out real quick. This is the ultimate application of the blue sphere glitch. I'm going to collect 34 spheres at once. Boom, there they go. That's just, like I said before, instead of looking inward to find the blue spheres inside the shape, it spreads outwards and grabs every blue sphere outside that it can touch. And in this case, that's 34 spheres all at the same time.
Oh, we have a chat poll going right now about the pronunciation. So
Oh,
chat,
gosh.
make sure you get in your votes, because this is important.
This... There's no escape. This was something that even appeared in Sonic Generations. They had, if you look in one of the sound tests, you can see it, the song listed as Hydro Space City. So I thought it was settled, but I guess Sega unsettled it because that was funnier or something. And yeah, this special stage, usually I do a trick where I jump and turn on a red sphere without taking damage, but it loses a little bit of time to do that, and I was impatient, so I just didn't do it. So instead, I did that terrifying jump there where it looks like I'm about to jump into red spheres, but it's actually very carefully timed. When you jump in a special stage, you always move like 2 square lengths plus a little bit more. Like, I can't find the pause button. Let's try this again real quick.
Nice time save.
There we go. So the amount that you jump is roughly this long plus a handful of pixels more. So if you know exactly where you're jumping from, if you jump from the right place and you're really good at jumping at your first possible opportunity, you can jump really far through a field of red spheres without actually taking damage. My record is jumping over 14 red spheres in a row until I died. But you cannot go forever because of that little extra bit of jumping they added. Anyway, those are all the Chaos Thermals we're going to be getting in Marble Garden. And now I have to introduce another important trick that I'm going to be using a few times. This is the vertical level wrap, also known as the screen wrap. And this is a very different beast from the horizontal level wrap, because Tails doesn't actually go anywhere, and it's actually the camera that wraps around. So what I do here is I crouch, and also I just want to say I love Tails' crouching animation because he looks like a dog that has just been caught peeing on the floor, like he knows he did something wrong. This is one of my favorite sprites in the game.
That's yeah.
Excuse me.
Yep.
But yeah, what I'm going to do is I am going to crouch long enough for the camera to scroll all the way down, and then I am going to jump, and this is going to confuse the camera, and instead of moving upwards to follow me, it is going to start moving downwards and scroll throughout the entire level to try and find me again. So this is something that only happens on certain stages where the bottom of the map is connected to the top, so you can like move infinitely, which is Marble Garden, Ice Cap, Sandopolis, and Sky Sanctuary, and I may be forgetting a few. But why do I do this? Because Tails isn't actually going anywhere. I do this because the game, if there is a sprite object that is not currently on the screen, the game treats it as if it doesn't exist in order to save memory. So if I can make the camera just go away from Tails for a little while, I can pass through objects as if they weren't there, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to spin dash to the right, and I am going to stand in the same place that an item box exists. And when the item box starts existing again, it's going to push me into the wall, and then I do a quick zip, and now I'm near the end of Act 1. And so that's a time saver that can help a lot in several different stages. And now I'm at this boss, and I'm going to do just a quick damage boost in order to get myself through here as fast as possible. If I was playing as Sonic or Knuckles, there would be a really fantastic and hilarious way to fight the Act 2 boss in Act 1, and you're just fighting this aerial boss in the middle of a bunch of solid ground. But it doesn't work as Tails because Tails is too short, and for some reason this makes you soft lock instantly when you try this glitch. So instead I have to go through Act 2, but I don't have to play it for very long. So here's another thing. Way back in Angel Island, I was able to get a spin dash during the flying battery cutscene where the screen's automatically scrolling. This is because in Sonic 3 and Knuckles in particular, not in Sonic 3, you can spin dash when you are moving very slowly. Normally, you can only spin dash when you've come to a complete stop, which is a nice little quality of life change, but there's one thing they overlooked, which is that it allows me to spin dash on very steep slopes like this. So I'm going to spin dash here and roll up the wall and over the wall, and now I'm in the wall and I've instigated another horizontal level wrap. And I am going to make the camera pass over Knuckles' boss arena. So Tails is going to fight Knuckles' boss. And I am going to position myself rather particularly, do some specific movement and spin dashes to get a 2-cycle boss fight, which is the fastest you can do this fight. Now, normally, where this boss goes in this fight is random, but that randomness is based on which enemies you've destroyed in the level. And I destroyed none of them, so I always get the same pattern every time, which lets me do this really quick. And that's Act 2 in 49 seconds. So now we're going to go on to Carnival Night, and I get to explain another fantastic glitch. But first, I need to lament something that's really irritating. So what I'm going to try and do is spin dash and bounce off some balloons in order to get up a little higher. And I am going to miss one of these balloons. Look at how close I get to this balloon without actually hitting it. I get right about there, and I just pass by it as if nothing even happened. This never happens with Sonic, but it does happen to Tails because Tails is too short. Luckily, Tails has a backup. So this glitch is the wheel glitch. So you all know this wheel. Some of you know this wheel. If you played Carnival Night, you know the Barrel of Doom and you know this wheel. So if you jump and land on this wheel, you're going to get stuck to it and you're going to start going round and round and round, etc., etc. I just wanted the excuse to draw. So this works because when you jump onto the wheel, two things happen. First off, your gravity increases massively. And second of all, the direction of gravity changes so that whatever you're standing on, that's always down. And when you're on the wheel, this has the effect of always pulling you into the center of the wheel. But by touching the wheel without jumping on it and then immediately touching this item box, we get the gravity properties of the wheel without actually being stuck to the wheel. So now I have huge gravity and this weird directional gravity in a level that's just filled with curved surfaces. So it's time to have some fun. So I'm going to shoot off that curved surface. I'm going to backtrack a little bit, get some speed. And now I'm going off to the left. And you all know what this means. It's another horizontal level wrap.
That's an annoying time loss, but it's...
So I have to do a couple spin dashes to get myself into the boss arena.
I had the wrong speed at the wrong time.
And I still have the wheel glitch. And I want to keep having the wheel glitch. But there's a real problem here, because if I jump, the wheel glitch is going to end. So I have to defeat this boss without jumping, which is a lot easier said than done. So the way this is done is I ride on top of this saw, I roll off, and I bounce on this thing's head, and then the saw will finish it off. And it's definitely possible to screw this up and get a bad pattern, and the saw, instead of killing the boss, it just comes right for you. But I still have my wheel glitch, which is important because I need it to skip the second half of Carnival Night as well. Also, goodbye to the sign. I scrolled the camera down, and it screwed up where the sign appears, and so it just sort of falls into the ground and goes away. So now I am going to spin dash. I'm going to fall down, and so right here I'm on this barrel, and I said a minute ago that I can't jump or else the wheel glitch is going to end, but that's not quite accurate. I can jump off of this barrel because this barrel also messes with my gravity, and as far as I can tell, when I jump off this barrel, it just resets my gravity to whatever it was before, which was the wheel glitch state. So I can safely jump here, land on this balloon, start flying, and now I need to rub myself backwards against... That's a bad drawing. I mean, they're all going to be bad drawings, but I'm going to try and push myself against this general area while moving backwards. And this is going to suck me into the ceiling. And now I am zooming off to the right, traveling through the ceiling on a fun ceiling adventure.
Back to Sonic and Knuckles.
Now, if this was not an all emeralds run, I would be able to ride the ceiling adventure all the way to the boss. But because this is all emeralds, I get stopped right there. This is because whatever's above the ceiling is basically dependent on what's currently in memory at the time. And if I'm doing an all emeralds run, the memory is laid out very differently than if I was not doing an all emeralds run, because I'm going in and out of these special stages. This would also this would also not work if I exited out to the menu from Marble Garden or Carnival Night. So instead of going all the way to the boss, I have to travel downwards into a tunnel below where I am right now, very carefully manipulating my speed. And I still have wheel glitch, so instead of going down to see Knuckles and his chuckles, I'm going to go up, and I'm just going to rain death down upon the boss. This makes the boss so much easier because this boss is horrible to fight as Tails if you want to go really fast. And that's Carnival Night. And we are not done with the gauntlet of glitches yet. There is more to come in Ice Cap and Launch Base. And once again, at the end of this stage, I am going to reset the console, skip the cutscene of me jumping into a cannon, and we're going to go to Ice Cap. And unfortunately, there's no cool snowboarding section. Tails is unfortunately too short. They wouldn't let him have a snowboard, so he just gets thrown directly at a wall instead. So I am going to pick up some damage, and I'm going to pick up 2 really quick Chaos Emeralds here, and then we are going to skip all of Ice Cap. So this particular special stage is not particularly tricky, it's just routed really weirdly, because this was the most efficient way that Jujamoy could find. And Jujamoy is, he works on TASes, and he is the world's #1 expert on Sonic 3 special stages. All of these routes that I use came from him in one way or another. Like, the first time I showed an all emerald speedrun at an event was at Sonic and the Shiny Things here on the Games Done Quick channel run by Amber Cyprian. And after I did that, Jujamoy reached out and says, "Hey, do you want to make these special stages even cooler?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely." And so he worked out some new routes, and I learned them, and now special stages are completely ridiculous. Oh, somebody heard me say "ow" in the past when I got hit. I do that sometimes. Yeah, if you hear like a ghostly version of me from the past, ignore him. At one point, somewhere in the run, past me said that there was no way this was going to be a 51, so that guy doesn't know much.
I love how so many of us will say ow when we're playing video games. I do that all the time too.
It's a universal thing.
Yeah.
We're expressing our anguish.
Yes.
I mean, this is the final Chaos Emerald stage, but it doesn't mean much because in a couple stages we're going to be getting a whole new set of emeralds. And this particular stage is not introducing any new tricks, but it is introducing a really, really, really tight set of jumps, which is this set of jumps right here. I have to hit these jumps in the middle here pretty much as soon as I land, because I need to get this blue sphere right here that Tails is currently in front of. And if my jumps are not tight enough, I'm going to miss this blue sphere and I have to double back. So the best way to ensure that you jump as soon as possible is to roll your fingers across all 3 jump buttons as you're landing, because all 3 of them will jump, and it gives you a better chance of hitting the first 1 or 2 frames where you can jump. And there is a Emerald route in the Sonic and Knuckles half where I have to make 3 jumps and I can lose at most 3 frames over the course of those jumps. And if I screw it up, then I lose. I haven't done that in a while just because it's too risky. But anyway, it's time for another fantastic trick explanation. This is the slope glitch. So the way this trick works is if you are standing on a sprite object, like this thing here, and actually not this thing here, that's a bad explanation, but if you're standing on a sprite object, and while you're standing on it, that sprite object is removed from the game in a way that the game isn't really prepared for, then it doesn't really know what to do with you. Does it make you fall? Does it make you keep standing? And so what it does is it puts you in a weird state that we call slope glitch, where you just maintain whatever slope you currently have. So if you're just standing, if you're running on a horizontal platform and you run off the edge, you just sort of keep running off the edge like your Wile E. Coyote. And if you're standing on a slope and you run into the ground, you just sort of go into the ground. And it leads to some very interesting situations like this one here. So what I am going to do, by moving at a very particular point, I am going to stand on this wall. I am going to basically stick my toe into the wall just enough for me to be standing on top of this wall. And then the platform destroys the wall while I was standing on it, and the game doesn't really know what to do, so it just gave me slope glitch. And what am I going to do with it? I'm going to go on a fun infinite speed adventure. So I'm just accumulating massive amounts of vertical speed. I'm just dropping through the level, moving sideways, going all sorts of places. And I am listening very carefully and looking very carefully for some visual and audio cues, because while I'm traveling through time and space, I want to hit a particular spring. Right there, that was the sound of the spring. And now I jump, and now the world has come to a stop. And where I am now is I am in the tunnel between Acts 1 and 2. Specifically, I'm in Knuckles' version of the tunnel. And something really interesting about this tunnel is that this is the point where the game unloads Act 1 and it loads Act 2. If I were to try and go back to Act 1 right now by glitching into the wall, the game would crash. But what this means for me is that the loaded left boundary of the level is now really close to me. And so what does that mean? I'm going to get into the ground. I'm going to jump on this very slightly slanted ground, push myself into the ground, and I'm going to zip to the left and do a horizontal level wrap. And now I'm manipulating Tails' position and the camera a little bit, but this is the one time where I do not want to hit the boss arena, because I want to do something way better. I am going to sneak up on the loading zone for launch base from behind and just not interact with the boss or the capsule or the score countdown screen at all. So here, I messed it up a little bit. I was supposed to come up around here somewhere on the other side, because right around here, this is the loading zone for launch base. And so this snow, when you hit it, it basically pushes you in this direction. And so I try to come up on the left side, but here I came up on the right, which is a little sloppy. And so now I sort of have to finagle Tails into hitting this particular loading zone, and there we go. And now I'm in launch base. Now, here's the thing. Because I never saw the score countdown for Act 2, my save file never ticked over to launch base. So if I was to reset the console right now, it would put me back at the start of Ice Cap instead of launch base. So this is kind of a dangerous place that I'm in. So I have to be pretty careful. And now I'm going to summon and manipulate this robot bird because I want it to damage me at a very specific time. So it followed me. I'm going to scroll the camera up. It's going to hit me and put me down on top of a set of spikes. Let's rewind that real quick and get a better view of it. So I'm falling down into a set of spikes, except the spikes aren't on camera when I hit them. So right around here, I'm basically falling into the area where the spikes are supposed to be, and now the spikes spawn, and they push me into the wall. And then, say it with me, it's a horizontal level wrap. And now, once again, I am going to navigate into Knuckles' boss fight. And I'm going to do my favorite trick in the run. This trick is fantastic. And I think you will all agree once it's over. So, I'm going to initiate this boss fight with these two enemies, and I'm going to fly back up to where Knuckles was never supposed to be. We're going to fight these guys on my turf. So, I am going to do some very specific movements and jumps to try and damage them just enough. I am going to damage one of them almost all the way, so it has only one hit left. And I am going to destroy the other one. Right there, it's just exploded. So now I have destroyed a boss enemy. And when you're playing as Sonic and Tails, normally you only fight one of these boss enemies. So the game says, oh, you're Tails, and you defeated an enemy that's marked as a boss enemy. I guess the level's over. So now the sprites are a little bit messed up, and the screen just filled with water because that is one of the things that happens when Tails beats the mini-boss. But this enemy is still sort of here, hanging out, trying to kill me. But I have plans for this enemy. So Act 2 starts, and I kill the enemy. And the game says, oh, you are in Act 2 and you defeated an enemy marked as a boss enemy. I guess you beat Act 2. And so the Act 2 screen, the score counter comes up, even though I've been in here for literally no time at all. 0 minutes and 0 seconds. So the act is over, but we still have a problem because I am nowhere near the loading zone for Mushroom Hill. But remember what I said about save files. Once this score counter is done counting down, my save file will tick over to Mushroom Hill. So I am going to reset, go back into my save, and now I've made it to Mushroom Hill. And that is my favorite trick in the game. And down here, we have the first appearance in the run of Knuckles. And he's not even going to chuckle. I feel very shortchanged. But I hope you enjoy the special stages because we've got more of them to go. And we are going to start with the hardest special stage in the whole game. This is the one special stage that reliably gets me worried while I'm doing it, because one bad turn and everything goes wrong. And this is actually the safer version of the strat that I'm about to do right here. This is the stage I mentioned earlier where the fastest way to do it is to do 3 jumps and lose at most 3 frames over the course of all 3 jumps put together. Someone in the chat says it's faster if he doesn't chuckle, and maybe, but I mean, like, is it really worth it? What else are we losing here? Anyway, I'm now going backwards, I'm now going backwards in some very narrow tunnels lined with red spheres, and so if my turn timing is off at all, if my jump timing is a little bit off, because I have to time these jumps very carefully as well, any of that goes wrong,
How do you feel watching
the run is over. And that is really the one biggest downside of this special. To the person in chat who has a migraine, I'm sorry, it's not going to get much better from here. But this is the one biggest problem with this speedrun is it is intensely punishing. There are so many points in the run where one missed input, one mistimed input, one extra input will instantly lose you multiple minutes and the run's over. Like right here. Thankfully, this is not one of those things. This is one of those things where if you screw it up, you only lose a few seconds. I'm trying to jump off of that top platform, fall all the way down here, land on these shoes, bounce my way back up, and continue on with the speed shoes. Unfortunately, I hit my head on the ceiling, and so I have to fly back up, and I lose about 5 seconds, I want to say. But it's fine. It could be a lot worse. And now I feel like there's going to be a little bit of spaghetti showing up in this particular stage. So my movement just gets a little bit sloppy. But, okay, yeah, that could have been better, but it's fine. So I'm going to go into this next special stage here, and this is going to show off another fun trick that doesn't get enough play, which is these yellow spheres. This is the first time they appear, and if you jump on them just right while holding a directional input, you can turn before the sphere actually launches you. And so you get this fun nonsense. And it's this special stage is a lot less difficult than it looks. It's mostly just kind of precise timing, and it's really more fun than anything. It's just fun to show off, fun to watch.
Oh crud, I didn't mean to jump over that.
Also, one thing I'm trying to do here is gain as few rings as possible, because just like in the score countdown screen,
It's a panic.
every ring I collect is another extra frame I have to wait.
Okay, this run
And
is almost certainly not going to be
I want to save every frame I can, because as I mentioned before, my Sonic World record got the 53 minutes by exactly 1 frame. So every frame literally counts.
A big thing that helps a lot is in
Excuse me. So the next special stage is nothing to write home about, except the color palette is kind of hideous. It's like Barney and Baby Bop,
like you can prep,
kind of, sort of, except grosser.
you can prepare turns and jumps.
So what other thing I can talk about here is in the Hidden Palace zone there, where you choose which emerald you want to pick up, you can really do them in any order for the most part. My chosen order is 7, 6, 3, 2, 5, 4, 1. And I do 7 first because it's the hardest one and I want it out of the way. I do 6 next just for the symmetry. Then I do the 2 on the lower levels because then I can jump on those activated emeralds to get to the higher ones. The only thing that really matters is that you do the center emerald last, because after you activate the final super emerald, or after you collect the final super emerald, there is a cutscene where the master emerald activates. And if the camera isn't already in the middle of the screen, it's going to really slowly pan over to the center of the screen. And in the worst case scenario, that loses you 4 seconds. So by doing this emerald last, you save that 4 seconds and you lose nothing. By the way, we're getting a lot of emeralds in Mushroom Hill. We're going to get all 7 emeralds in Mushroom Hill, because there's a lot of big rings here, and I have done a lot of timing comparisons on what the fastest route is for the emeralds. And for both Sonic and Tails, even though there is a trick that lets you skip most of Mushroom Hill 1 and Mushroom Hill 2, it is still faster to not do that trick and get all of the emeralds here, just because of the benefits in other stages. Also, this is another one of my favorite special stages because of how short it is. If you do it right, you will collect the final blue sphere before the music speeds up for the first time. And right there, the music sped up, but I was already done, so the game was not fast enough. So that's 4 emeralds down, and we're pretty much at the end of Mushroom Hill Act 1. And so now we're going to... I just realized how much I say we instead of I. Is this another common speedrun thing, or am I just really strange? I don't know. Chat, can you weigh in?
I feel like it's a stream thing.
So is this do you do this on occasion?
I do this on my streams, yeah. I refer to everything I'm doing in the game as we, like it's a group effort. I think a lot of streamers, I think that's a common thing.
I wonder why we do that. Are we just trying to like make the chat feel included?
It's like you think of, you know, people who are like fans of sport teams will be like, yeah, we won the game last night.
That's true. That's a good point. Like you didn't do anything, sir.
Yeah, yeah. But we're cheering them on and feel like we're a part of it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Also say hello again to Knuckles, and look, he's smirking. We're getting close to a chuckle. We didn't quite get there. But we are approaching chuckle. So anyway, I just wanted to say the boss fight I just did against Hey-Ho, that's his name, is not particularly noteworthy, except I hate it. Because for some reason, it's my kryptonite. I always have a lot of trouble with that boss, and I don't know why. In that fight, I did get hit, but it was on purpose, once again, to lose rings before the score countdown. And in a minute, during the next special stage, there's going to be some good time for talking. So if anyone has any questions, please go ahead and post them in the chat so that I may answer them. The timer only stops at time bonus countdown, not ring bonus. That is correct. Right, because the rings you have are much more in your control, and it's not like a scenario where you have to intentionally slow down by 1 second to save a 12-second score countdown. So rings, you can just take damage, or you can just deal with the extra handful of frames. It's not as big a deal. Someone asked if I'm running this on a Genesis. I have like an analog Mega SG, which is like a recreation of a Genesis. And this actually got me in kind of sort of a bit of trouble at one point, because the analog Mega SG natively runs at 60 frames per second, like any self-respecting game console. But the Genesis runs at 59.94 frames per second. So on the analog Mega SG, every frame is 23 millionths of a second faster, which doesn't sound like much, but over the course of an hour or so, it adds up to about 4 seconds. So at the beginning of each run, I have to show that I am running the game in the original frame rate mode. Someone asked, what is my favorite section of the run? In this particular run, I would probably say that it's launch base, just because I get to do that great trick, and it's not terribly difficult to pull off. Sky Sanctuary is also quite nice, because for many of the same reasons. Angel Island is a no-go, because when you're at the start of a run, it's just, you see it so often that it starts to represent, you know, failure in your mind. And that's, like, you know what it means. Like, you don't want to be reminded that you have just lost another run, and you're back here in Angel Island. What is my favorite Sonic and why is it Tails? My favorite Sonic is honestly either Sonic himself or Blaze the Cat. Blaze is underrated. Probably because she was only in a few games and one of them was Sonic 06. Yeah, there's that particular special stage, there is not much you can do to speed it up, except for one particular jump at the end. What is my third favorite color? Is there anyone who has thought about their third favorite color that doesn't specifically work with green?
Green.
Okay. I have been told. Thank you for that news. Anyway, this... All right, you know what? I'm going to think on that for a bit and get back to you.
I used to work early childhood education, so that's my reasoning for why I know that.
All right.
Colors are something you talk about a lot with young children.
That's a good point. That is, they do love colors. All right, that's fair. Well, I'll think on that more and get back to you. In the meantime, this special stage is routed in kind of a weirdly particular way, and we're coming up on it right now. So this set of jumps I'm about to do, this particular turn, that turn I just did, my ability to do that turn depends on like the several turns I made before. If I didn't make the correct set of turns previously, I will not be able to make that pinpoint turn, and I'm going to turn on the next square instead. I really don't know why. That's just, special stages are very strangely programmed in this game. Upon reflection, I feel like my third favorite color is probably purple after green and blue. But I need to evaluate this a little more to be certain. Anyhow, I hope you all enjoy the special stages. Unfortunately, there's no more of them. That was the last one. But now we finally get to see Super Tails. And Super Tails is going to help us fight off the boss. There's unfortunately no Hyper Tails, like there is a Hyper Sonic and Hyper Knuckles. But Tails does get this cool army of death birds that follow him around, which are right here. And sometimes those birds can show up as just like broken textures, which is really fun. And also, when I ran this at GDQ, or on Sonic and the Side Quest, someone referred to them as Pikachu fish, and then someone else drew them as Pikachu fish, and that just made my day, and I just wanted to talk about that. Anyway, that jump I just made there is, let's back up just a little bit more. So I'm going to make a jump at a certain point right around here, and I am going to rush forward, and a bird is going to go forward ahead of me and hit Robotnik and make him actually vulnerable, and then I am going to run in immediately and start hitting him, and I'm going to get 6 hits, which is the most you can get right there. And it took me a long time to figure out the fastest way of getting through there as Super Tails, because these birds, as much as they like to help, they can also be very annoying at times, and they frequently would hit the boss before I was ready to do damage. But that is Mushroom Hill. It took a very long time because we had to collect 7 emeralds. And now we're going to see, you've already seen my favorite glitch. You're about to see basically everyone else's favorite glitch. This is the as intended glitch. So I'm going to set this up by standing right around here next to this booster. I'm going to scroll the camera down, and then I am going to initiate a spin dash and pause at basically subsequent frames. So, and then when I let go of pause, I'm going to be holding right, and I'm going to hit this booster. It's going to shoot me upwards, and then something path switchers delayed spin dash effects. When you do a spin dash, one of the effects is that like you get shot forward and the camera sort of hangs back and then it catches up to you. And this is going to, because I'm hitting this particular thing right here, that effect is going to get delayed for some reason, and it's going to get delayed just enough for me to pass over and not hit a critical path swapper. That path swapper is supposed to send me into one of those spinny tubes, but instead, this is going to happen.
Okay, yes.
And now I am Sideways Tails, and I have Slope Glitch, and I'm just going to travel sideways through the rest of the level. This is one of the sprites that is supposed to appear while you are moving round and round in these giant cylinders. But he's just sort of frozen on one of them because we bypassed a path swapper or something to that effect. And we're just going to stay with that until I take damage. So we're just going to hang out as Tails Doll for a little bit as we fight this particular boss. Somebody in the Sonic community calls this boss Mr. Tickles. I don't know who it is. If you're in the chat, show yourself. Okay, right here our fun's going to end, but it's going to start again immediately. I have to stand in kind of a particular place. I want to stand right here on the edge of this button, and then I'm going to jump, and I'm going to land right here on the edge of this sprite. And what's going to happen is this boss sprite is going to explode, and it's going to disappear, and it's going to be replaced with the sprite for an empty capsule. What that means is I was standing on a sprite when it disappeared in a strange way. And as I established before, that gives me slope glitch. And so now I can just run on air for a minute. And it doesn't do me much right now, but this is setting up a trick that's going to happen that will let me skip Flying Battery Act 2. So I still have slope glitch. I'm going to do a spin dash. I'm going to jump. I'm going to get myself glued to this particular wall. And now I have the slope of this wall, and so I'm just going to run downwards into the floor. And now I'm in the underbelly of the ship, underbelly of the Leviathan. And I'm going to keep using my slope glitch to force myself way over here. And so now I'm here. Now, now I am in, technically, the very end section of the flying battery where the floor starts like raising up as the ship is kind of destroyed by itself. And I am underneath the platform that I am supposed to get on. And so if I want to actually make it up and not die while I'm being chased by this platform, I have to climb the moving staircase. So this involves flying, landing in the floor, zipping, jumping, flying, landing in the floor, and zipping up these stairs here until I am finally high enough to make my way up.
To this point.
And you can hear me saying in the video that this is the first time all night I've actually made a run this far. Because, like I said, this is a very punishing run. But that particular trick, moving up the moving staircase, it's the one trick that I intentionally want to take slow and steady. Because I'm already time-gated by this moving platform, and if I rush, I tend to screw it up, so I just take it nice and slow, and generally I'm fine. Also, notice the clouds right now are not really looking like clouds. Basically, by going through the level the wrong way, we bypassed a trigger to swap out some of the sprite sheets. And so the clouds never got loaded in properly. And so it's trying to find other sprites. And whatever's there, I guess, is just sort of parts of the flying battery. Someone asks, where do I gain the minute over world record? That is going to happen starting in Lava Reef Zone. Because, yeah, my splits are here, and they've been red almost the entire time. There is going to be a dramatic shift around Lava Reef Zone. Anyway, it's time for Sandopolis Zone. Say hello and say goodbye to Sandopolis Act 1, because I'm about to bypass it once again. So I'm going to fly up here while facing to the left, and then at the last second, I'm going to face to the right. And I'm going to screw it up. I forgot. I took 2 tries on this. But I guess I am going to get myself just barely stuck in the wall. And then I tap right. And I get shot out like a cannon. And that gives me enough speed to initiate a horizontal level wrap. And so we just bypass Sandopolis Act 1.
I'm a cat now.
And now we wait. Because there is nothing we can do to make this boss and this sequence go any faster. We just have to wait, and we have to bait this Guardian over to the quicksand, and there's nothing else interesting going on at all. Honestly, I do not know why Tails appears behind the background layer here. If I jump in the quicksand, that effect is reversed, and I'm suddenly back where I'm supposed to be.
Anyone who has a cat boo, please post a cat
But
boo or a cheer boo.
We've got like a solid 30 to 60 seconds or so. Any questions from chat? Nukes, do you have any curious questions while we're here?
I'm just insulted that we didn't have time for Knuckles to chuckle, but we have time for this ding dong.
I would much rather be seeing Knuckles than this ding dong. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we are going to see at least one Knuckles chuckle somewhere. I hope so. Maybe in Hidden Palace. Anyway, you'll notice that I intentionally took damage, and then I did a spin dash to hit the boss, and this shot me over here. This loses a little bit of time in Act 1, but it puts me much closer to the door, so this cutscene right here goes a lot faster, and that saves me some time. So now we're in Sandopolis Act 2, And things here are going to be a lot. A lot of things are about to happen. So, if you've played the game, then you know you have this situation with the lights and the ghosts. And if it gets too dark, the ghosts start attacking you. Let's see. So I do a really quick vertical level wrap to get past this wall and the spikes because they don't exist for a minute. So that saves a little bit of time. And then I am going to do a particular jump. And yes, right here. So here's the thing about this game. It is basically just a little bit too advanced for the Sega Genesis. This is maybe the most physics-intensive physics platformer of its day on a console. The physics engine that Yuji Naka made was kind of genius, but it's not perfect. And the least perfect thing of all of them is slopes. Slopes just don't work the way they should. It's very easy to fall into a slope. It's very easy for a slope to suddenly stop you dead because you're on the wrong subpixel. And here, this particular jump, I'm just going to fall through this slope and fall down right here. And so I skip some of the level because slopes are hilarious. And I took damage on purpose because I want to get 50 rings at a very specific time. Right here, there is a way for me to glitch into the wall immediately to my right, around like this wall here. I just wanted to draw. Okay, it's here. This is where I draw. Right around there, it's possible to glitch into the wall and skip a larger chunk of the level, but it's much harder with Tails than it is with Sonic or Knuckles, and I don't know it yet, so that's one of the tricks I have to add. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm trying to get 50 rings at a specific time because I don't want to go Super Tails yet, or else a trick I'm trying to do will be ruined. You see, right here, this little button here, normally to advance the level, you hit this and you break it and sand starts pouring out. But if I hit the sand and it starts pouring out, that will prevent me from doing one of the glitches I'm about to do. So I need to make sure I don't hit those at all. But the flickies that follow you when you are Super Tails are not nearly so discerning, and they will just immediately damage it. And so I can't go Super Tails until I'm ready to do this glitch. So I have to manage my ring count pretty carefully. So I have... Yep, and I'm passing another one of those. I have 49, and this is where I want 50 rings. I want to be flying in this area, because I'm going to do another vertical level wrap right here. So you see these vertical walls right here? The moving wall blocky thingies, except they're vertical this time. So I am going to use these combined with a vertical level wrap to push myself into the wall. So I'm going to do the trick. I'm going to jump. I'm going to jump a second time and transform. And right around here, this is where Tails was when the screen came back to me. And then these walls suddenly reappeared, and so they forced me into the wall. And right underneath me, this whole area is just a bottomless pit that's going to drop me back into the level that I have to avoid. So I just do one quick flight, and it's going to put me over here, which for some reason is like solid ground underneath the actual solid ground. So I'm going to run over here, I'm going to zip over here, find another bottomless pit, and I've just skipped a very large section of the pyramid. Now I am going to fly up through the sand waterfall, which takes some careful button mashing, and that skips a bunch of the level by 10-15 seconds, but it also skips one of a few triggers that makes the boss actually work. And so right now, the way that I've been moving, the boss fight is not really going to work correctly. It's not going to activate itself properly. So normally when you enter the boss, the lights turn on, the camera gets fixed. Neither of those things are going to happen, so I have to turn the lights on myself. All right, I'm going to jump down into the boss arena. The camera does not lock, and the boss just sort of didn't show up. The boss forgot to show up. So instead, I just stand here. And now the background is not quite working, And the ghosts are supposed to be gone right now, but they're not. They are here, and they've got this weird blood red outline. I like to call them the blood ghosts, and so I call this the blood ghosts glitch. No one else agrees with me on this. This is also, I think, a specific FFZ emote called Sandoboo, or something like that. But yeah, that's why I had to turn on the lights, because if I don't turn on the lights, these ghosts will swoop down and, like, kill me in this cutscene. Anyway, there we go. Sando is done, and now we have entered Lava Reef, and this is where runs either live or die. This is basically the kingmaker of the entire run, because there are two incredibly important tricks. One of them is not terribly difficult, but if I don't get it, I lose a minute instantly, and the run is basically dead. Oh, while I was talking, I just clipped through another section of floor. Let's see that again real quick. Yeah, there's one trick that I have to do or else I lose a minute. The other trick saves me 2 minutes, and it's the hardest trick currently in the run. Yeah, right here, I am going to stand in a particular place, I'm going to jump, and instead of hitting the lava, I can just sort of zip into the floor and skip that section there. That's another really easy trick. If I had time and like a live console ready, I would do a glitch exhibition, but pretty sure we don't have time for that. And also, it's not really in the spirit of the show. But anyway, we'll keep going here. So somebody asked earlier where all my time save is going to come from. Some of it came from Sando 2, which you can see I got a gold split. But I circled that terribly. But I got a gold split there, and I am going to do a trick right now that I had not done in my PB, because I had only learned it like while I was sitting at home sick with COVID by watching someone else's run. So I'm going to jump under here as Tails. I'm going to jump in the air as the spike thing's coming down, and for some reason, it won't squish me. It will push me into the wall, and I can zip down and fall through, and that saves about 20 seconds. So that is where a lot of my time save is going to come from. A good third of it or so. And the rest of it, I believe, comes from good execution and also a really solid skip in Death Egg that I had only recently learned. But we're coming up on the mini-boss, which, as Super Tails, is fairly trivial. I can just sort of fly up here and hit these guys, and also my flickies will do some damage to them as well. And I am going to kill this hand boss in this particular spot, because if it dies here, the flagpole is going to come down, and it's going to make a flame shield monitor appear. And this is the most important monitor in the game. This is monitor clip. So I am going to do a pause real quick. I paused the video, but I also paused in the game. Let's see, I'm going to get a different pen color here. So I am trying to pause when the bottom of this flagpole is roughly in this area. There's like a 3-frame window where I can hit this, which is pretty forgiving. So if I pause while the flagpole is around here, I start holding right and I unpause. And let me get to a point where I can frame advance. Here we go. So I am going to start running, and I'm going to get underneath the monitor. And as the monitor comes down, it's going to push me into the floor. And that is the monitor clip. Now, as Tails, this is not too bad. As Sonic, that's by far the hardest trick in the game. It's like a multiple frame perfect input trick. I've only seen it done like less than 5 times. It's really hard. But this lets me set up a horizontal level wrap. And I'm going to wait a little bit to activate it because I'm trying to avoid some crusher cycles elsewhere in the level. So now the camera's going to chase after me. And I'm going to position myself right there. And it's going to spit me out very close to the end of the level. Now, normally, we would see our friend Knuckles at the top of this area, and he would chuckle and punch an iceberg at us, and it would knock us into the boss fight. But that boss fight is horrible. It's like a 2-minute auto-scroller, and we do not have time for that. So instead, I'm going to do the hardest trick currently in the run, which is an object phase. So let's... First off, I want to show a failed attempt at this. So here we go. These rocks right here, this is no longer a good pen color. These rocks right here are what is standing between me and freedom. On the other side of these rocks, I can get out and I can take Knuckles' exit from the level. And Knuckles does not have to fight a boss. He just leaves and goes to Hidden Palace. But these rocks, they will instantly break if you run into them as Knuckles. They will absolutely not break no matter what you do with Sonic or Tails. So with Sonic, there is a way to clip into some stairs above and sort of fly downwards and appear on the other side of these rocks. But as Tails, I have to do an object phase. So this is going to take 3 very well-timed, very specifically timed spin dashes of a certain speed. So when you do a spin dash, one of the things that happens is that you shoot forward and the camera sort of holds in place until you're far enough away, and then it rushes in to catch up with you. So the first thing I am going to do is stand in a particular place. Let me go ahead and stand in that place and get rid of the pen. So I failed this twice, and then I got it on the 3rd attempt. So I'm going to fly in and stand right around here. This is a little farther right than I wanted, but it still works. So I'm going to stand here. I'm going to charge up a 6-tap spin dash, which is about as fast as a spin dash can get. When you're spin dashing, after the first tap, every time you hit the button, you get a little faster. But the longer you wait to let go or do another tap, the slower your spin dash becomes again. So you have to do 6 well-timed taps on the controller and then let go at the right time in order to get the fastest possible spin dash. So I'm going to do that spin dash, and I'm going to rush over to the rocks. I'm going to hit the rocks, and I am immediately going to do a second spin dash. And the purpose of this second spin dash is to force the camera backwards again, because it needs to do the weird camera catch-up thing that spin dashes have. And then when the camera is far enough away, I am going to do a 3rd spin dash, and at that point, the rocks will be off screen, and I will pass through them, and I will be free. So let's do a frame advance here. So this is me letting go of the 1st spin dash. I'm rushing forward. I hit the rocks. I do a 2nd spin dash and immediately let go of it. And this kicks the camera backwards, because I guess the camera needs to get a certain distance away from me as part of the spin dash animation in order to catch up. And so here I am charging my 3rd spin dash, and when I let go of it, the rocks are now completely off screen, and I move directly through them, and I'm in the tube. And another quick 2 spin dashes get me out of the 2nd set of rocks. And that is an object phase. That's the hardest trick in the run. And it is very easy for me to lose multiple minutes trying that. So getting that on the 3rd try is really phenomenal.
That seemed decent. That was extremely decent.
So now we have a little bit of time. Hold on. Are we going to see? No, we see Knuckles, but he's not chuckling. He's got his dukes up. And so I don't think we're going to see Knuckles chuckle at any point in this run. I am so sorry. I know the Nuclear was looking forward to it.
I really was, honestly. This is my least favorite Knuckles.
Take a 3rd try.
I completely understand.
What's up, Kinsey?
Now he's mad.
Oh yeah, everybody,
And
get your Ozaps ready.
now Knuckles, things are about to get worse for Knuckles during this basically cutscene of a level. And there he goes, he gets zapped. I have a special Frankerface Z emote that's him being zapped, which is probably cruel of me to make, but right now what I'm doing is just for fun. This is a Slinky. I try to roll all the way down all 4 steps like a Slinky would. And the more of them you get, the better your luck will be for the rest of the run. I got 2 of them, which is going to be pretty good luck, which will come in handy. Somebody asked earlier on, because of rings being so absent in the first Sonic game on the last level, do you think the difficulty is raised appropriately? I feel like...
If I start talking less, it's because...
That's actually a pretty good question. I feel like it does create an appropriate level of challenge, because otherwise, if you could just damage boost your way through the final area, hitting rings over and over, I think a lot of the challenge would end up being lost. Anyway, let's go back for a second. So, that I was just sitting there on that pedestal for a while, waiting for Knuckles to get up, for me to actually spin dash and zoom over here. I am trying to load in one of those moving bars at a very specific time. So I'm going to spin dash over here, and immediately the bar is somewhere where I can jump up and grab it and continue on. So that's why I let go of the spin dash when I do. And now it's time for... Earlier you saw the hardest trick in the game, the object phase. This is the easiest trick in the game. This is something you can do at home with like no experience. So follow along with me. So I am going to do, once again, a vertical level wrap. I am going to hold down. Tails knows what he did, you can see. I'm going to hold down, pan the camera down, and once the camera's all the way down, I'm going to jump and move to the right and fly. And I'm going to fly once more there. And this puts me at the end of the level, which is strange. It seems strange because the whole point of Sky Sanctuary is that you're continually going up and up and up. But the thing about Sky Sanctuary is that they did a little bit of trickery here. The level maps aren't actually tall enough to accommodate all of what they wanted to do with Sky Sanctuary. So they actually put the very end of the level at the bottom of the stage, and they just use a teleporter to hide the fact that you're not going further up and you're actually moving from the top of the stage to the bottom. So by doing that vertical level wrap, for some reason you can despawn what would normally be a kill plane and fly right through it and get yourself to the end of the level. So that's really easy to do. You can probably do it at home in just a couple of tries. And then I'm going to fly over here, and I'm going to fight Mecha Sonic.
Please be nice, Mecha Sonic. I know you never are, but please.
Now this is interesting, because this is the only instance of meaningful RNG in the entire run. The rest of pretty much the whole game is very deterministic, except for subpixels.
Nice.
RNG plays basically no role, except for right here. This is the one place where RNG matters, is this fight. Thankfully, the RNG was good. And now we're moving on to Death Egg. Can you do it at work? I mean, if you bring a Genesis to work, you could do it at work, but I can't say that you won't get in trouble. Like, be careful about despawning death planes at work. So Death Egg 1 is not terribly noteworthy. I am going to go on a path that normally only Tails can do and Sonic can't, unless you're Hypersonic, because Hypersonic has that special like Hyper Dash. I don't know the exact name for it, but there's basically, we're going to fly up a pit that should kill us, but Tails is able to fly up and actually make use of it. So right there I lose my lightning shield because I need to not have a lightning shield later in order to save some time. And that right there, that was the pit that only Tails or Hypersonic can move up. So that's why this is usually a Tails only path. And now I have to deal with the Graviton. I have to hit all 6 of these buttons. There's some movement that we've practiced in order to make that go a little faster. And here I am specifically not going to hit this thing. This thing sucks. I hate it because it's just incredibly slow. It's 3 full seconds of waiting for you to get started moving, and then it usually takes a long, windy, boring path through the level and wastes a lot of time. So usually you want to avoid those. As Sonic, you cannot avoid that one, but as Tails, you can, and so I do. So instead, I'm going to fly up here. As slow as flying is, it's still faster than that. And it's way faster than taking this one, because the path that that one takes is something like this. It just goes all the way through drawing pretzels on the screen until it eventually deposits you with the boss over there. If you've played this game, you know what I'm talking about.
Whatever.
But now, we are at Red Eye. This normally is one of the worst boss fights in the whole speedrun because there's like so much death happening on the screen all the time. But if you're Super Tails or Supersonic or Hypersonic, it's a lot easier. You just sort of hang out in his eye and you just end him. Someone asks, what is Hypersonic? And you're not the first person to ask that. Basically, if you collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds in either Sonic 3 or Sonic & Knuckles or Sonic 3 & Knuckles, you become Supersonic. However, if you're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles and you collect the Chaos Emeralds and the Super Emeralds, then you unlock Hypersonic, who has some more powerful abilities like the Hyper Dash. There was actually, I get to talk about this because I'm not time limited. There was a Kotaku article that went up shortly after I ran this game at GDQ 2020 from someone who had never known their entire life that Hypersonic exists, and they were a super big Sonic fan, and that was a fun read.
DE2 skip? Yes.
Anyway, now it is time for one of the newest tricks in the run. This is something I was very terrified of at the time. This is going to be another horizontal level wrap, but there's a lot of soft lock potential and it's hard to set up. And the first thing I'm going to do is kill myself on purpose to do the whole level unloading thing. The second thing I'm going to do is kill myself on accident. This was really unfortunate, and I lost a handful of seconds. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad. So this trick, I need to get myself into the wall, and I'm going to do that by using one of these sets of moving stairs, which is over here. So I'm going to try and stand like all the way on the left of these stairs as far as I can without standing on the floor. And so Tails is going to just sink on the stairs and sort of slowly fall into the wall. And I screwed it up right there the first time. So I have to go back a little ways to right around here and reset the stairs and try again. And this is another trick where I could lose like minutes if I was really unlucky, just resetting it over and over, though it's not nearly as hard as the object phase. This time it works. So right here, this is what you want Tails to look like. You want exactly this much of him to be visible. If you are a little further over to the right, you're not going to get stuck in the wall. If you're a little farther to the left, you're going to be standing on the floor up here. So this is almost exactly what you want it to look like. So once the stairs are all the way down, I'm going to tap right, and it's going to shoot me left. And now I want to stand in a really, really specific position. Right here. I want this tube to be exactly this far from the edge of the screen. And if I go too far to the left, I am going to soft lock. And if I don't go far enough, then I'm not going to be able to jump and initiate the level wrap. So right here I jump, I start holding right, and now the level wrap happens. I hit the ground, I jump, I'm doing some flight. I have to watch the screen as it moves down for 3/4 of a second. While the screen is moving down, I have to be flying as hard as I can as Tails. Then I have to stop. And then once the screen gets here, I have to press all the jump buttons and teleport Tails from over here around Robotnik's pants over to here. If I time that incorrectly, one way or the other, I soft lock. And that was what I did on one of my runs on Sunday. I had a beautiful 52 that soft locked right here. But now I'm sort of glad it did, because I am on 51 pace, which I'm pretty sure I said earlier in the run that I'm never going to get 51 with this run. So this was kind of amazing. Anyway, this boss here, we call this boss Uwu Ball, because, or not you, the Uwu Ball, because of the sound that it makes, and it's a ball, so, you know, it works out. This boss is really irritating, because normally you have to move into this gravity thingamabob and constantly move gravity up and down to get these spike enemies that appear to fall into the boss spike first. But something you can do instead is wait for this thing to hit the ceiling, wait for a fraction of a second, and then do a really quick spin dash. And you can see here, it's falling back down to the enemy, And this shield here is constantly following Tails. It's always pointed directly at Tails, so that Tails can never hit the boss himself. But because we're moving so fast, the shield has moved away from this spike enemy. And I need to be on VL. There we go. And so it flips over at exactly the right time to hit the enemy when the shield is exactly far enough away. And that damages the boss. And then I jump to stay up here. And you just do that 8 times. And this is far and away the easiest way to fight this boss. So if you've ever had trouble with this boss, this is what you do. Just do that 8 times. In the meantime, in the world of the past, I am kind of in the middle of a freak out because I have absolutely no idea if I can still get this 51. Because remember, I died earlier, but also my best run of this particular trick wasn't all that great. So based on the best possible time, I just don't know. So I can literally feel my heart pounding against my chest right now as I set up one last glitch for the road. I'm going to spin dash into this final arena. And you can see the screen sort of jitters, like Sonic and Tails and Robotnik sort of jitter off in that direction for a bit. And that has set up one last glitch. I have displaced the floor. So the floor looks like it's all where it's supposed to be, but it's not. The floor is actually a little ways off to the left. So this area over here at the far right side of the screen looks like it's solid, but it's actually a death pit. And so I cannot go over there under any circumstance. So I have to fight this boss very carefully. I have to be able to destroy these fingers quickly, which involves spin dashing, but I also can't go too far to the left. You can see there, I got very close to it. 4 spin dashes to destroy all these fingers is usually normal for me. And it was the case here. And at the very end, I have to jump and fly because right here, once again, is the death pit. If I had not jumped and flown, I would have instantly died. So the reason I moved the floor like that is because of this next sequence. This boss is going to appear right here. And right around his chest, there is normally, or not around his chest, but I guess a little further around here is, I have drawn something inappropriate. Something right around here is going to be like a barrier that pushes Tails back and keeps him from hanging out in there. But along with the floor, I have pushed that barrier back to the left as well, so it doesn't exist. And around here, where there's supposed to be a death pit, is actually floor. So what I can do is open up this chest cavity, do a spin dash, and just get 8 quick hits and finish this boss in one cycle. And now there's only one last thing to do, and I am in the middle of an absolute panic because I can see the 51 in my sights. So I just have to deliver 8 more hits to Robotnik. I'm going to do some particular jumps to get 4 quick hits, 5, 6, and right around here you can hear me freaking out.
I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening.
That's me just straight up wildin'. Because I did not know going in how long that fight was going to take.
Oh, God.
And so this was kind of an amazing miracle that I ended up with less than 2 seconds to spare off of the goal that I did not think I could
I
get.
was going for a 52.
And that is the story of the Sonic 3 and Knuckles All Emeralds Tails world record.
I'm shaking, you guys.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much. That was really, really great commentary. I know I had seen quite a few comments in chat too, complimenting how well you explained everything.
Hey, thank you so
and
much.
I learned a lot about this game today. So.
Yeah, I love diving into the weeds of what makes this game tick, because I'm a computer scientist by trade, and I have never before had the chance to commentate one of my own runs while I'm doing it, because the game is just too intense. I can't talk and do it at the same time. So this has been a rare treat, and I really appreciate that I was able to do this on your show, so thank you so much.
Yes, it's been wonderful to have you. We have been posting the link to your Twitch channel in chat. Do want to encourage everyone to please click on that link and give the Sound Offense a follow. I want to give you an opportunity to let people know what they can find on your channel, what you'll be working on, and maybe any shout outs you'd like to give.
Oh yeah, I'm still going to be running this game on my channel. I will be doing this on Saturdays because I know I can push this down at least into the 50-minute zone by adding a couple of new tricks. One of which is a second object phase, which I'm really not looking forward to, because one is bad enough. On Sundays, I will sometimes do a speedrun of Sonic 06. I'll sometimes do the Sonic Shuffler, which is where I play the 4 main Genesis Sonic games, except every time I collect a ring, I change games. It's very disorienting, but it's a lot of fun. And sometimes on the weekdays, I will just have a chill stream where I build Legos on stream, which is a lot of fun. So if anything, any of that sounds interesting, please go ahead and drop me a follow. In the meantime,
did you say?
Go ahead.
Did you say every time? I'm sorry. Every time you collect a ring, it changes games.
Yes, almost every time.
That's that's incredible. Oh my gosh.
There's a cooldown of a quarter of a second just to prevent like photosensitivity conditions. But yeah, it's extremely intense and disorienting.
Chat, please go follow. If you're not following for the commentary, the amazing commentary Sound Defense gave tonight, please go follow for just that alone. That's really interesting. Definitely worth checking out. I'm sorry, I cut you off. I want to let you please finish what you were going to say there.
That's okay. Folks to thank is Kirby Master just for being super hype in the chat right now. Shout outs to you. Big thanks to Jujamoy for working with me on improving the Emerald routes for the special stages and making them a lot showier and faster. Big thanks to Amber Cyprian and Sega Junkie because before I submitted my first run to Sonic and the Shiny Things, I really wasn't a person in the Sonic community, but Amber picked me to close out that marathon on Sega Junkie's recommendation because he knew what I was doing with special stages at the time. And thanks to them, I was able to actually become a part of this community, and I'm super thankful for that. And also, big thanks to just the entire Sonic speedrunning community in general, an incredibly chill group of cool people. Many of them are European, as I mentioned before, but they're still super cool. In fact, they're probably more cool because of that. I'm going to stop talking about that now. My foot's in my mouth. But it's just a big, cool bunch of folks, really. It's one of the nicest speedrunning communities I've ever met. Everyone there is super helpful. They're eager to help you get started on speedrunning, help you work your way through tricks, creating and posting useful tutorials and things. It's a great community to find yourself in. And so definitely check out the various Sonic speedrunning Discords. I know there's one for the classic games, there's one overall, there's one for, I think, the modern era games. So just reach out if you're interested in speedrunning anything to a great community of people. And I think and thank you to Games Done Quick and you, Nukes, for having me on the show. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you. You've been awesome to have on the show. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing all your knowledge. I love having people who just have a real passion and knowledge for a game and just getting to hear everything you have to say about it because it's always a lot to learn and super interesting.
I'm glad. Thank you so much.
All right, chat. This is the end of Hot Fix for the night. Tomorrow we are preparing for our Juneteenth marathon this weekend. So come back on Saturday starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. Challenger Approaching and Legally Cute will be back after SGDQ. And make sure to stick around, chat. We'll be raiding someone doing speed runs at the end of the stream. So make sure to stick around, join us for the raid, spread the love, and I'll see y'all next time. Everyone have a great night. Goodbye.